How are we all doing on this lovely Friday? I hope you are all well. We're going to be playing some more Final Fantasy 15 today. I hope you're all excited, because I am. We're at the part of the game where the story actually begins. In Final Fantasy 15's case, otherwise known as the end of the game. I mean, seriously, right? The whole story kind of starts in the last little quarter of the game. So is this the cut content of episode Aranea where you marry her? Yes. This is the secret ending, secret third ending, really. Many of you may not have heard of, where me and Aranea get married. It's actually quite a good ending. When you really think about it, maybe the happiest, you know. I want Luna to just move on, you know. She needs to move on, and you know, be happy. She's doing good in the live stream chat. I don't think she needs to dwell on me and Ari, you know. Me and Aranea? Come on now, chat. She's gonna be just fine. Are we playing episode Ignis today? Wait, when should we play episode Ignis, actually? When is the best? Should we play Ignis? Wait. Ignis has to be the last one. I feel. Has to be the last one. I actually feel like the correct order to play it is Gladio, Prompto, Ignis, but then don't do the secret ending. Beat the game. Play episode Ardyn. Then go back and do the Ignis secret ending. I think is actually the appropriate way to play. Iggy DLC until a certain point, then return after finishing the base game. Yeah, because you know, doing the alternative ending to Ignis feels like kind of the best way to cap off the experience, because it basically gives you the Dawn of the Future ending, right? Episode Ignis is so peak. It is the peakiest peak. Well, in my playthrough, I'm leaving it to post game. Yeah, I don't think that playing episode Ignis after beating the game is wrong either. I think that's also a pretty valid way to do it. Episode Ignis to me really only works during or after chapter 9, but they had to include those spoilers to Noctis's fate in the canonical parts of it. Well, okay, so here's the thing though. Episode Ignis is kind of being told, like, I believe at the campfire in chapter 14. I think that's when like Ignis talks about it. So I don't even know, which is strange to even think about in the first place. Episode Ignis is weird because of how it works, but it's peak. I know it's the best piece of like FF15 content. I think, other than episode Ardyn. Also, I was catching up to the last VOD. I heard you say from this point in FF15, this has the worst pacing in the series, and that is a really good reminder you haven't played Tantra. Oh god, okay, thanks. I needed that. That was a pretty fucking funny laugh. That's really fucking funny. Holy shit. Dawn Trail is that chopped? That's insane, dog. But I kind of believe it because 6.xx was already like chopped as hell to me. That's like really when it started going downhill for me. Loved 6.0, loved the ending, super Endwalker pilled, cried at the end. It was beautiful. Loved fighting Xenos. Um, and then everything after that moment, I just have not gave a flying ass fuck. So I do still love the Heidelin Zodiac saga. Um, but as soon as as soon as 6.x came out, I checked the fuck out. I'm gonna get back on my FF14 journey soon because I stopped right before Shadowbringers, because 16 was out. Bro, Shadowbringers is so much better of a story than Final Fantasy 16. It is like not even. Like I don't understand how it's from the same team. I do not under. I mean, it's not literally all the same team. It's the same creative studio, but I don't understand how the two can even be related. Shadowbringers is so much, like so much better than 16. Like so, like it's not even close. Honestly, even Heaven's Word, which is the same writer, I feel like, and director, I feel like is so much better. But yeah, I still think 14 should have ended at 6.0. Would have literally, I mean, to me, it did kind of end with 6.0, but like the story has to keep going because it's an MMO. And yeah, but I do think that Endwalker's ending was strong enough to just be like, yeah, that's the end. That's it. I joined the stream, and the first thing is FF14 standard. First of all, hello, Crossy. Nah, jokes aside, though, finally, after how many years, the glam dresser is getting fixed now. You could save entire dungeon gear sets only using one dresser. Still only get 400 max slots, which is dumb. Did they fix that in the Chinese mobile port? Because I was hearing that like a lot of things with glam that had been like an issue, especially with the main game, they fixed, and just like a ton of other issues in general, they fixed. Probably because they were able to rework a lot of the client side and the server side stuff. I'm excited because I put it off since I was so disappointed in 16. I'm far away enough now. Um, Bro, yeah, 16 and Shadowbringers are not in the same tier at all. Like they are not. Like Shadowbringers is S tier, like on par with FF7 and 10 and like all of the best Square Enix stories that you've ever like consumed. Um, that is like CS3's magnum opus, goat, like holy shit, every damn. But also too, and I think this is where 16 kind of disappointed for some, is that Shadowbringers set up such like a really high bar that everyone was expecting like once the training weights were off, they would be able to make something like Shadowbringers in a single player game. But it's not like Shadowbringers, and that's because it's not wrote by the same person who wrote Shadowbringers and Endwalker. And so in some areas, FF16 feels like it was made by the 14 1.0 team. That, bro, you gonna get them calling us haters again. Oh yeah, the mobile glam system is just flat out superior in every way, but that mobile game has its own slew of issues. Yeah, I assume because it's being developed by a different team. Probably with Ishikawa, they can't. I think that a lot of people are kind of maybe realizing that they were fans of Ishikawa, particularly, and that is what held their kind of affection to CS3 storytelling in the most part was what Ishikawa was doing. And then I feel like when Ishikawa stepped away, the game kind of fell flat for a lot of people, like immediately. So, but yeah, Ishikawa is the goat. I do hope that she is writing for Final Fantasy 17. She has been away from 16, so I mean from 14, so I don't want Ishikawa back on 14. Let her do her own dedicated game. spin-off or mainline. I think that Ishikawa is brilliant enough to deserve her own mainline title. She's she's brilliant, man. She's such a good writer. She's so damn good. Um, Shadowbringers had a boost in that so much of the world building and character development was started beforehand. I love Shadowbringers, but it's not fair to compare it to FF7 or 10. Um, I half disagree. I half disagree because um, Shadowbringers does take you to an entirely different world that has similar laws to it, but a lot of Shadowbringers is also like world building like a second different world that has um a ton of different conflicts. And also too, Shadowbringers most compelling characters, their arcs are mostly contained to Shadowbringers, right? Like you get like a little bit of Artbert at the end of Heavensward, but like 90% of his arc is um in Shadowbringers itself. So yeah, it does benefit from that quite a lot, but it's not like entirely so. Roy Mustang, thank you for this super chat. All these streams and vids of FF15 slash versus has me acting unwise. I have reinstalled FF15 and started replaying the game. Oh, that's awesome. I want everyone to go back and revisit this. Go back to the trauma and re-experience. Like I'm actually like really seeing like so many people now. I don't know if it's just because of the algorithm boosting it all to me, which probably plays a large role, but I'm starting to see like everyone kind of have this um 15 versus reawakening happening where there's been like a really strong renewed interest. um Shadowbringers only works and hits its highs. It does because of the MMO format, not just because of Ishikawa's writing. Shadowbringers works off of building off the ideas and themes of FF3. Yeah, that's true. I guess it's because in my head, I could see Shadowbringers being rewritten to work as a single player game well enough. I do think that you can do it, but yeah, or I guess, and it's also worth saying too that I don't think that it's an inherent part of it. You know, it's still kind of like a masterwork achievement to be able to make something like Shadowbringers, right? So, an Ishikawa written CS1 developed FF17 with re-trilogy combat is something I am feeling for. I'm seeing that actually, that sentiment a lot lately, of people saying like, yeah, I want Ishikawa to write it, and then I want CS1 to like make the game part. I've seen a lot of people saying that. I agree, like fully, by the way. I didn't know Nomada worked on Versus in 2003 until your video. What magazine is that from? I have a guy who does nothing but like archive Versus stuff for me. So let me ask him particularly like what I'll go back to our chat and see like which magazine that came from. But yeah, he yeah, he's like we joke that he's like literally my Ignis, and he just like digs through like Versus interviews and stuff and just messages me um all kinds of like stuff that he finds while just, I don't know, just digging through these old interviews. So Ishikawa would have fixed FF15. Oh my god, she could have delivered an incredible FF15. I think, I really do. Shadowbringers was a response to the writing team having no clue what to do with the original plans for the Asians and everything. Ishikawa is the main reason behind streamlining and fixing everything up. The devs were open about how they had no clue what to do originally. Okay, like low key, I think we like went back and like watched a bunch of A Realm Reborn cutscenes before Endwalker was coming out. And I'm not gonna lie, you could kind of feel that they didn't have a plan for the Asians, and that it kind of was getting retconned like pretty actively as time went along that they just didn't know exactly like what the fuck. Kiseki couple, hello. Like I could definitely tell like when I went back to that they retconned things and they fixed it up. So Ishikawa having a plan for like the Asians and making them something better was cool. Yoshi P has been super transparent about how much was changed with the Asians, which is appreciated because it's so painfully obvious. Yeah, bro, if you go back to A Realm Reborn and you view some of the ASEAN cutscenes, yeah, it is pretty obvious that they did not have like the clearest plan for like what they wanted the ASEANs to be. And then I think they adapted and they figured it out, Ishikawa apparently. But yeah, like I do feel like they did not have like a crystal clear vision on what they wanted to do there. Like as a primarily single player gamer, even I can tell the shift to single player MSQ is hurting FF14 in some areas. Well, it seemed like they were really succeeding on it for a while, right? When the hell is FanFest, by the way? Like it's coming soon, right? I just thought of this. When the hell is it? Is it? It's not this weekend, is it? It's on the 24th. Oh shit. Okay. I might stream part of FanFest. I'm not gonna stream the whole last FanFest, because it's too late in the day for me, and it goes on for too long, and I only care to hear about the new stuff. But yeah, there is a balance between. Actually, what the fuck was I gonna say at all? I forgot already. Oh yeah, there's a balance between the single player part of Final Fantasy 14 and the MMO part of Final Fantasy 14, and I do think that the single player part has kind of taken over, and that's because it worked for a while, right? Like the single player aspect was something that a lot of people really enjoyed. Like for me personally, I don't think I would have played the game for the MMO aspect. I don't think I would have. But I really, really enjoyed the single player aspects and being a single player Andy, right? And so the fact that I could play the game for that was really awesome. And you know, Yoshi P has talked about this before, where he wants like it to be this Final Fantasy amusement park where you know you can be a single player Andy and play it as a mainline title, but also you can just you can engage with the MMO systems to the fullest. I don't know how feasible that is though in the long run for the health of the game, because you got to remember single player Andes don't really keep the lights on. It's the MMO people that do, because a single player Andy like me will will sub basically when the latest patch comes out, but they won't stay subbed, right? They won't stay subbed year round. And so your MMO guys are ultimately the ones who keep the lights on. So really, it's those people and not people like me that matter the most when it comes to Final Fantasy 14. I think I might skip this year's FanFest just because I kind of don't give a fuck about FF14 anymore. For me, the ending for my Warrior of Light was 6.0, and that's fine with me. I kind of feel that way too. Like I got conclusion and satisfaction with the game at that point, and that was it. In that light, I also kind of think, damn, was Endwalker a mistake? was giving a conclusion to that story a mistake? I do kind of think that actually, like looking back, like maybe they should not have made um something that had so much finality to it, because it really did at that point make it easy to walk away and say, damn, I'm good. See you later, game. Again, if they were goated, FF14 mobile should have been FF14 on offline, available on console too. I don't know if that'll ever happen. Yoshi P did admit they became complacent a while ago, so hopefully 8.0 is a step in the right direction. He was also dismissive of people hating Dontrell. Um, if there was any like kind of like criticism to make of Yoshi P, was that like I guess that on his way to creating A Realm Reborn, he was like criticism is so important. And then I feel like when it came to like Dawn Trail and 16, he was just like, yo, fuck the haters. So I don't know. There is not a balance anymore. It's one of the driving forces that drove me away from 14. The stripping away of the MMO feeling, dumbing down dungeons and progression, the homogenous feeling of jobs, all catering to people that barely play the game outside of the MSQ. Yeah. Yeah. The dumbing down of jobs is something that is talked about a lot. And I think that this is something that impacts all of Square Enix, like all of Square Enix, I feel like. But it's something that I feel like Creative Studio 3 has like the biggest problem with at the moment. And that is that they like really fear friction, right? Like a lot of Square Enix games are kind of designed to be frictionless. Um, CS1 is semi guilty of this too, but like at least I think their hard mode, like with the 7R trilogies, are like a little bit um easier to access in terms of you just got to beat the game one time and then it's pretty easy. And also too, I think that your first playthrough of remake is gonna kind of be challenging because it's not made like other action games. So the first time you play 7R, it'll have like a little bit of challenge, right? But like I do think that most of 14 and definitely 16, there is just no friction at all unless you do like Ultimaniac or you do the Savage raids or things like that. Ultimate, you're never going to experience any friction, right? But the point is that they force you to have no friction on your game, right? Memphis 16 would have felt better if we experienced the hard mode as the first impression, right? Because one thing that they'll say about 16, for example, is that like, oh, if you play Ultimaniac, then you'll see how much depth the game has because it's brutally challenging, and I don't doubt that. But the problem for me is that I must first play through the game, and then I must play through the game again on Final Fantasy mode, which is barely harder. And then after that, then I can have the mode that gives me friction and pushes me and challenges me. And it's just like, why do you not want the player to experience friction? Um, and you know, again, it's not just exclusive um, to FF16, but also like you know, Kingdom Hearts 3 launching without critical. Now, obviously, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 didn't launch with critical, but I feel like in today's day and age, like a true hard mode should be in the game at launch, right? Like I do feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 should have launched with critical. I do feel like Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to launch with critical. Like I don't think it's going to be a doubt. I think that Dream Drop Distance did launch with the critical, right? If I'm not mistaken, right guys? Since when was there another harder mode for FF16? So there's no trophies for it, and a lot of people probably don't even know Ultimaniac even exists. But if you clear the game once, and then you go back into Final Fantasy mode, and you beat a particular stage, you then unlock a third difficulty for that stage called Ultimaniac. But you can't play the entire game in this mode. You can only replay a stage in that mode. And in order to unlock all the stages, you have to beat the game again on Final Fantasy mode. So if you want to access all of the Ultimaniac stages, you need to beat the game twice. Then you can go back to all of those stages and experience those stages at appropriate difficulties. But also, like, but also, why? Why? That should have just been unlocked, like, when you beat the game the first time, all of those should just be unlocked, right? Like you shouldn't have to like beat that stage again on Final Fantasy mode. You should just be able to unlock it right then and there after you've beat the game once. It doesn't make any sense. It's a general shift in games as there have been plenty of tiers locked behind harder difficulties, clearing the games first. It is kind of dumb and should be available from the start. Back in the day in DMC games, you unlocked easy by repeatedly dying the game, so hard modes came out of the box instead of easy. No. I get it. I get it. I'm not against New Game Plus hard modes, but I don't think that the game should be frictionless on your first playthrough, you know? But also, I think that it's different when the hardest difficulty unlocks after you beat the game one time, right? So like New Game Plus hard mode, I'm not against it. I'm not against that. But it's just the problem when one, the game is really long, and then two, in the case of Final Fantasy 16, it's not even a mode. It's like or like an actual mode that you can play the game in. It's an arcade mode that is separate, does not have any trophies linked to it, if I recall correctly, and is accessed like entirely separate from just like playing through the game normally. That's kind of the problem that is basically there, right? It's designed in such a way that most people just straight up won't discover it. Can you elaborate what you mean by friction? Yes. Oh, wait, hold on one second. Roy Mustang, thank you for the super chat. The only thing that could have saved F16 for me is if it had some god tier Disco Elysium writing, but it doesn't. The story just devolves into complete nonsense after Clive confronts his mom. Thank you so much, Roy Mustang, for the super chat. I appreciate you a ton, man. Yeah, I did think that I kind of think that the game was at its most interesting when it was its most Game of Thrones, to be honest. When it was more written, like kind of rooted in like the human drama. And then once it became more about the gods, or Ultima, I should say, God, that's when I kind of checked out. Explain what you mean by friction. Friction means that there is some pleasant stress, there is some challenge to the game. There are the game does not bend over backwards for you in every single way. It basically makes you do things, makes you discover things. A game with very high friction, for example, would be Elden Ring, right? Or any Souls games. Souls games are kind of known for being high friction. Friction doesn't always necessarily mean difficulty. It just means that the game is not necessarily giving the player everything handed to them on a silver platter. You have to figure things out. You have to work for it. So difficulty is a part of friction, but it's not necessarily the whole thing too. It is basically the game putting in some challenge for you. The game not bending over backwards to make everything smooth, right? You have to think for 1 second. Yeah. Like no yellow paint. There isn't like it's I guess it's easier to start by describing frictionless games because that's kind of where so much of the game industry has headed, right? So in like a very like frictionless smooth game, there's quest markers everywhere, there's yellow paint on everywhere you need to go. Characters will start giving you the answers to the puzzles whenever you whenever you can't solve them. They make everything um, really, really simple and easy for you to do. Basically, to the point of, again, think of something that's frictionless and smooth, right? You basically slide to the end because there's no friction, right? There's nothing stopping you. But when there is friction, you have to stop and think about things. The game won't spell it out for you. You have to think about where to go. You need to, you may encounter some difficulty in trying to overcome certain obstacles and things like that. And so, um, old games all had solid friction. Yeah, yeah. Old games are basically the very idea of like good friction, right? I think like the epitome of like a high friction game versus like a frictionless game is FF11 versus FF14. That might actually be the epitome of like high and low friction. Holy shit. Because FF11, basically you start the game, you spawn into the world, you have no fucking idea what to do whatsoever. Where do you go? How do you do things? I hope you fucking like like reading, bitch, because you're going to do a lot of it and you're going to have to figure things out. And I hope you like communicating with people because you're going to have to ask somebody, how the fuck do I do this? And you're going to have to party up with somebody. Whereas FF14 will be like, this is exactly where you need to go. This is exactly what you need to do. No, sweetie, you can't enter this dungeon. You're not high enough level. Final Fantasy 11 is like, I don't give a fuck if you're not high enough level. I don't give a fuck if you don't have a full party, bitch. If you want to go into that dungeon, go ahead. Fuck around and find out. Like, you know, figure it the fuck out for yourself. And you go into that dungeon and you get your shit rocked, and then you're like, oh, okay, wow, yikes. So those are like, I would say those are two extreme examples of a high friction game versus a low friction smooth game experience. And to be clear, because I see a lot of you guys talking about it, I'm not anti yellow paint. We've mentioned this before that yellow paint is kind of yellow paint is basically made for me because I'm like kind of well, you know. You cuss a lot on your streams compared to your videos? Yeah, because it doesn't affect stream monetization much. But video monetization is a little bit different. That's why I usually I do drop a bomb sometimes in in videos, but I usually censor it. Um, if FF14 8.0 wants to be successful, they should just pretend Dawn Trail didn't happen. Oh no. That FF14 story, Shadowlands from WoW, and that's not an exaggeration, arguably worse. Dawn Trail alienated so many people and completely killed my interest in the world to the characters due to the damage it does. Dang, is it really that bad? I mean, you say that, and then like 20 other people will say, no, it's not that bad. I honestly don't know because I haven't played it, so I don't know if I agree with you or disagree with you. Most of my contention was just with 6.x and early Dawn Trail, especially with 6.x, where they were just straight up remaking Final Fantasy IV at some point, and I was just like, this is boring to me. Klax, thank you for the bits. What I dislike is when you're messing around in a game and not trying to solve the puzzle, go to the next story objective, and the game keeps giving you the answers, or when you're trying to see the options first on purpose, but the game progressively more obviously hints as to the answer. That's also frictionless design can make games worse, right? Yeah, I feel like that should be only turned on in in like easy modes. If most of a video is in English but you swear in another language, does that affect monetization? That's a great question. I genuinely don't know the answer. My assumption is that the neural networks now are smart enough to probably know, but I think that you would have to be speaking that language for a little bit of time for the neural network to assume that you're speaking that language, right? Because sometimes just speaking normally in one language, you may accidentally say something that is a profanity in another language, right? If that makes sense. It just so happens that we use a similar word to that in our language. So I think you'd have to speak it for like a couple of sentences, and then the neural network would have to be like, okay, he's speaking French now. So when he says merde, like, or whatever the fuck, I can't say it because I'm not French, or putain, or something like that. Yes, I'm like clear obscuring right now. Then it'd be like, okay, yeah. Um, Story is not even the main issue at 14. People acting like Dawn Trail is the worst story ever. I didn't like it myself, but it's whatever. The issues that will kill 14 are the system and game design related ones that have persisted for multiple expansions and needed addressing. Yeah, so Crossy, my theory on that, and you tell me if this is off base or not. But I think that possibly like a lot of the systems problems were starting to hit like a breaking point for people, like even around Shadowbringers. But I think the story was so fucking good that people were able to ignore a lot of the game design, like the game design choices, right? Because the story was so damn good. And it was fulfilling a lot of things that people hadn't felt in a long time from Final Fantasy, especially in terms of the narrative. It was punching so hard that I think people just said, fuck it, I don't care. I can look past it. And then what happened with Dawn Trail is when the story kind of dipped in quality a little bit, there was nothing to kind of distract people from how off-putting a lot of the game design choices had become. Do you feel like that's on the mark, Crossy in chat? Which FF game has your favorite lore? Oh man, I think a lot of them. A lot of FF games have great lore, honestly. 14, as we just mentioned, has great lore. 7 has great lore. 10 has great lore. I think 9 has great lore. I don't know. Final Fantasy has a lot of great lore. I don't think great lore has ever been like Final Fantasy's problem. I don't think that there's a single Final Fantasy where I've looked at the lore and been like, this is shit. This is garbage. FF's problem is usually in making it cohesive in terms of like narrative, right? But in terms of actual lore, I think every Final Fantasy game has a fucking badass lore. I don't think any FF game has a bad concept either. This includes most of the spin-offs even. Like I think most of the spin-offs actually have really fucking cool, interesting lore. But yeah, like I said, I don't, you know, just in general, I think every FF game has really great lore. I just think that, like, again, sometimes they have problems in making that lore a good, cohesive narrative, which is very different than lore, right? Because one of the things about lore is that lore is kind of um, short stories like within a world, you know? And so you can kind of do like a lot of crazy cool stuff with lore, because lore, you don't have to have that same type of, again, that narrative attachment to it, that emotional, necessarily depth to characters and their arcs and things like that. Yeah, the execution aspect, right? And so lore doesn't necessarily have to, it doesn't have to follow um, the principles of, well, it does have to follow I mean, what am I trying to say? Yeah, it's not explicitly executed in the same way that a narrative is. They're different. And so um, lore doesn't even have to represent the reality of your game, right? Right? You know? I guess like Ardyn is actually a great example, right? The lore of Ardyn is one of the best lores behind an FF villain ever, right? But then the actual execution of Ardyn narratively, how the game handles that is ass. And it gets better after episode Ardyn, right? But retroactively, the fact that you can debate lore almost infinitely throughout all of F game is proof that they know how to build the world. I agree. I don't think that they've ever had a problem building a world. Well, I don't think that in terms of concept and lore they've ever had a problem building a world. Um, Maybe in terms of like making a playable thing, they've had it some trouble building a world. Um, but the world that they built on paper and conceptually and visually, I don't think they've ever had a problem building a world. I don't think that like, one thing you can actually say about Square, um, even during like their worst times and their worst eras, is that they have never been a company short of ideas. I don't think that Square has an ideas problem. I don't think they've ever had an ideas problem. I think Square has an execution of ideas problem. But in terms of like coming up with new things that the world's never seen before, um, they are, a factory of just like insane IP, like one after the next. The problem is, though, is that while they can make those ideas intellectually, I do think that they've struggled with creating a lot of it in a tangible sense, at least as far as their modern games go. Out of the mainline games world's lore, which do you like the least? Or do you think they're all incomparable? It is hard to compare them. And I hate to sound like I'm gonna sound like a bitter hater for saying it. I do think I like 16's lore the least out of all of them. Um, if I'm just, and I know, like lol, like, but I do have my reasons for it. It's mostly just because, and I don't think the lore is bad in that game, um, necessarily. It just is definitely the one that interests me the least, in part because um, I feel like the lore of that world can kind of be too overly summed up by lol Ultima did it. And that for me felt a little weak. And I understand that their idea was to make him obviously the ultimate bad guy. But that for me is just like, whatever, bro. One of my videos got labeled NSP remake cope or something, and it made me laugh. Oh, it made me super proud. Oh, I don't know. I think I misread two lines. I'm sorry. And it made me proud. That's awesome. I'm glad. I'm actually curious on what they mean by NSP remake cope. Because what am I coping about? I think that I'm like one of the few that are like actually kind of fair, like truly fair to the re-trilogy games. Like like truly fair. Because I think a lot of people um yeah. Oh, you didn't like Ultima because he was the string puller of everything, not just because he's boring. It's both. He's the string puller of everything, but and he's boring. Like Emmett Sulk was also like a string puller of everything, but then also he kind of wasn't, I guess, though too. So I don't know if that's maybe kind of false equivalent because Emmett Sulk was pulling a lot of strings, as a good villain should, but I guess Emmett Sulk wasn't the only string puller. So, but I would say that Emmett Silk was also a string puller, let's just say. But Emmett Silk was also deeply fucking interesting, right? Deeply interesting. And so it made the lengths that he would go in order to achieve his goals like really fucking cool and really fucking interesting. Whereas I don't think that was there for Ultima. So it's not necessarily that just the case that because Ultima pulled all the strings, he was uninteresting. But I think maybe the case is just that um, Ultima himself was not interesting. Just compare Ardyn to Ultima because those are the main villains of recent. And Ardyn did, yeah, Ardyn pulls most of the strings in like 15, right? But Ardyn is still more interesting than Ultima. I think that Ultima and, you could also argue like Bartandalis and villains like that. They kind of, I don't think they're that interesting for a lot of people, right? When it's a little too close to just being evil god, I think that a lot of people check out. Like 13, no one cares about Orphan. No one cares about Bartandalis. But you know who people do fucking care about and people love? Kaya's Ballad. Right? Kaya's Ballad makes 13 story like fuck hard, right? Like that's like when I really got in. That's why 13 2 is like my favorite game of the 13 trilogy, right? Like people love Kaya's. Um but then like Barthandalis, like no one fucking cares. Right? Like I don't fucking like, right? Like no one cares about Barthandalis. No one cares about Orphan. Those just aren't villains that people um really really latch onto very much. But then when Caius came in, I was like really interested in the story. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Barty and Orphan. Yeah, no one does. But Caius though, ah, I love Purple Sephiroth. And yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is ways to do Evil God that I think is interesting, but I think that I agree in saying with you saying that Square has just not really done it good too often. I'm gonna be and to also be further honest, I feel like ever since maybe Kefka, but especially solidified with Sephiroth, I think that people like human villains for Final Fantasy a bit more than they like concepts. Yevon, um, Yu Yevon is intellectually very interesting. I don't think that he's like the most interesting thing in Final Fantasy X because the true final boss of 10 is Jecht. And Yu Yevon is kind of just like a symbol of all those things. But Yu Yevon himself intellectually is pretty interesting. Like, I do find the idea and the lore of Yu Yevon to be very fascinating. Also, find it funny listening to a discussion on lore. Lore in a story is only worthwhile in service to the story. I say this as a big lore head who loves diving deep into mythologies of various stories, but the bottom line is it only matters when used in service of the final product. Yeah, 100%. It's seasoning, right? Like, no one wants to sit and eat seasoning by itself, right? Like, you can put a spoonful of salt in your mouth, and if you're normal, it's not going to taste great. But when you put that same salt on some high quality meat, it tastes amazing, right? It makes good meat taste even better. So lore is seasoning, but the story itself is still the meat. That's the compelling part. That is the part filled with human emotion that tells something, that has a message to it, that allows you to connect with characters and builds the thing that you ultimately remember. I also realized that FF16 isn't the only one to have Clive as the only playable protagonist. Remember Lightning Returns? I mean, it depends on if you consider Lightning Returns mainline or not. I don't know. Freerin is the best example. Freerin is so good. Who is your favorite villain of 16? Mine's is Barnabas. I think the best one was Hugo. But I think Barnabas should have been the main antagonist. I think that they should have reworked him to be, if not the main antagonist, he probably should have been maybe the human element of the antagonism, if that makes sense. If I was to explain what I mean by that, like, you have Genova, which is like an alien force of nature, and then you have Sephiroth, who is there to act as like a human manifestation of that, right? And so you basically would have had the human extension of Ultima's will, and that would have been better. And you could kind of argue that that's there, but like ultimately there's not really, I don't know if I really connected with that with Barnabas in the same way that, say, Emmett Selk in Zodiark, or Sephiroth and Genova, right? I think that like some rewrites would have had to happen to make me connect with him on that level. Chaos from FF1 is the best one. If you know, you know. Sephiroth, Seymour made an impression, kept jobbing and became a joke. Kind of weird he resembled Kuja so much. Oh yeah, we didn't even mention Seymour in terms of antagonists. I think 10 has like really layered and interesting antagonists, right? Because you not only have Seymour, you have the church, you have you have Yu Yevon, you have Jecht. And so you have all these antagonists and all their ambitions, which are intertwined really well, right? There's not a singular one of those that you can call the main villain outright in a lot of ways, right? Because you could say it's Yu Yevon, but then you could also say it's Bevel. And then you could also say it's Seymour. There is a case that all of those are the true villain of Final Fantasy X. You can even argue that there is no true villain. You could say that everything that happened in Final Fantasy X was a natural consequence of what somebody else did, layered together in such a way that no one is truly, I wouldn't say no one's truly evil, but no one is like the greatest ultimate evil per se. That everyone is kind of acting in, wait for it, a spiral. Again, it's just so well done. So well done. 10 is so legendary and layered, just goated peak game all around. Yeah, their writing in that is just so well layered. It's racism. Racism is the villain in Final Fantasy X. I mean, somewhat, right? Like, because you have the, what would be the word? Xanarkanians and Bavel. I would say like maybe xenophobia and war, you know, are kind of the main villains of Final Fantasy X story. Unironically, a game that I think that handles lore surprising well, and it makes this great added layer that elevates not only the individual games it appears in, but retroactively brings up previous games too, is Ys. The Ys games have pretty simple stories, but you uncover so much random information about the world across the games, and building up so much lore. It's honestly brilliant. Anyways, that's my regular Falcom shit. Yeah. Yeah, Falcom is really brilliant about their lore. There's also the fact that the Albeds were slaves, then the fact that the Grotto isolated Seymour. Yeah. There is a lot of racism in Final Fantasy X. I think it handles it actually pretty well too. I think Wakka's arc is one of my favorite ways that I've seen. This is such an insane thing to say. Fantasy racism play out. Tidus is one of the best SC has ever put out. A lighthearted male character after a series of depressed emo characters is refreshing. I love Tidus. 10 kind of came out at the perfect time. It did. It did. FF10 having racism be such an important part of the plot makes Tidus's constant whitewashing really ironic. I know. No one wants to see Tidus without his tan, bro. And see him always be lightened every time we see him. No one wants to see that. The War on Terror had people acting just like Wakka. I know. I didn't even realize how racist it was until I finished the game, and that's how subtle it is. Yeah, it's very subtle. It's very subtle. 10 appreciates every single time I play it. I'm gonna go ahead and open the game now. But 10 appreciates in value every single time I play it. I really do think that is just such an amazingly done story. And we kind of talked about this before, where I don't know if I would say that 10's story is necessarily better than 7's, but I do think that 10's story is executed in such a way that it feels more competent and well put together, I think, if I had to compare 10 and 7's story. But I do think that those are their strongest two stories, like, overall. Which probably doesn't come as a surprise. I wish the PC port of FF10 wasn't an unplayable, buggy mess. It shouldn't be. I haven't had any problems with the PC port. The only PC port that I think is like kind of borked that I know of is 13.2 and Lightning Returns. Those PC ports are terrible. FF10 uses concepts better than FF7's more throw shit at the wall approach, which makes FF10 better than me. Yeah, I can see what you mean by that. There are some parts of Final Fantasy X, of 7, that I feel like if you were playing them truly blind, you would be like, where the fuck are they going with this? Like, blind nowadays, I do feel like you'd be like, yo, what the hell? And I do feel like 10's story, I can look back on it and I can like really see the full circle. The PC port crashes like every 5 minutes. All the cinematics are also completely broken on modern hardware. Really? We just played Final Fantasy X on PC and it was fine. And maybe something's going on with your PC, or it's just not compatible with your PC, or something like that. But I literally just played it and it was fine. Yeah. Let me see. 1 second. To do something. I was looking for the Chocobo chick, by the way. I wanted to see if we could find it. Racism is just part of the spiral, Spira. The actual spiral and the running shared theme with all the antagonist forces share in Ten's control. Ten is control through faith, through fear, through propaganda, and ultimately you uncover death itself. The spiral is that Spira is in an inescapable vortex of people clinging on to power, and that is the sin of humanity. It is even given literal form. That's always been my reading, at least. That is beautifully said, Crossy. That is beautifully said. Really like the way that you put that. I had to read that. That was great. Okay. Let me set one more thing up. Okay. And then let's see if we can find those Chocobo chicks, and if we can't, we'll move on. Because it's not that big of a deal. It's like a really stupid side quest that is actually like kind of terrible to put here in this part of the game, which probably just shouldn't have any side quests at all, because bitch, what the fuck? I heard a Chocobo. I heard it. Where the fuck is... Oh, there it is. Honestly, out of all the Final Fantasy games, 15's my least favorite. Hey, man. We were saying this, I think, back when we had first started the game. That, like... You know, if you ask me if I love this game, I say yes. And if you ask me if I hate this game, I say yes. Like, if someone is like 15 is my favorite Final Fantasy, I'll be like, fair. And if someone says 15 is the worst Final Fantasy ever made, they should be ashamed of themselves. I'm like, hey, you know what? Fair. I think I heard it back there, but I want to grab this item that I saw when we god moded around. This is true immersive gameplay, though if I had to guess, these side quests may have been in other places around this area before it was cut. If you look at the mini-map, not the main map, you can see how detailed everything is in a normal mini-map on the other playable areas. When you try flying around bounds, there was so much detail still. Yeah, no, 100%. It's a remnant of them having planned to make this a smaller but fleshed out open world, and then once shit hit the fan and they had to publish a game. Where the fuck is this Chocobo, dude? It has to be right here. It has to be. We only need this one last one. Where the fuck is it? Fuck, where the fuck are you? Little bitch. What the fuck? I hear it. This is so frustrating. You know, speaking of frictionless game design, this game would also be like another example. You can use as many potions as you want to. Wait. Wait. There you fucking are, you bitch.
That makes 4.
Awesome. Quarry boasting the richest ore reserves in all of Niflheim. After the mine shut down, a variety of wild plants dug their roots into the rubble, defying the natural terrain and gradually transforming the arid basin into a makeshift marshland. Although the quarry lies in imperial territory, the mines are said to house a royal tomb. Local legends say the oldest king in Eos is interred within, but many... Is it Cartacanians? Dismiss these claims as mere fabrications, tall tales trumped up by Imperials trying to appropriate the legacy of Lucis for themselves. The truth about the tomb lies buried somewhere beneath the silt and soil. Some suppose that the demon-deterring mausoleum was erected as a sign of friendship between the kingdom and empire in an age where the two nations enjoyed amicable relations. The scars of war are visible across the land, while symbols of peace remain hidden from our sight. Cartanicans? Okay. Nice. The bed is there. I'm wondering... No. Because there's like supposedly a restaurant here. Oh, I guess it's just the diner here. Can I eat? I guess we don't need to eat because we're going to take off. That's fine. Is the train station still in Accordo? That's a great question.
Oh, thank you. Aren't they just the cutest? They're the most adorable Choco Chicks in the world.
No. No, they're fucking ugly. And your dumbass side quest sucked. Okay, and then I guess you don't have to talk to that guy because the quest already cleared, if I recall correctly, so...
All set for boarding?
Wait, is the
Not
photo...
yet.
Okay, I guess
There's
it's
still
not
time before we
turned in?
depart. Just
Let me
let
see.
me know when your preparations are in order.
Let me make sure. Oh, you're right. It did not auto-turned in. I thought it did, because it looked like it did.
Oh,
Good call,
yeah.
Skylian.
With these, I'll be a shoo-in for user's choice.
You'll be a shoo-in?
My name's on the article, and that's the way the news goes.
You're
Sir,
welcome.
your hands clip through your jacket.
Sorry, kid. I've got an amazing acceptance speech to write.
Do you think the gameplay is just press one button, or is there more to it, having played up to this point now? There is more to it. However, for most people, it will be hold one button, and the reason is because the way items are set up in this game, most people will just have to hold one button, use an item, and then continue holding that button. And so if you use item spam, yes, this combat will be reduced to one button, and it will not be much more complicated than that.
All set for
If
boarding?
you try to engage with its combat, it's pretty interesting. But again, without any hard mode
Well, let's roll.
to
In
make
that
it
case,
challenging,
Hop aboard. We'll be leaving shortly.
people don't really dig into that kind of thing.
We're here for you.
Yeah. Let us help you. And we're off!
Are we clear?
Crystal,
Hey, watch your step.
You're not pushing onward?
Not at his expense.
Fair enough.
Ardyn is so based. No hard mode should be a sin, right? It's not even so much that these games are like frictionless, but the fact that they go out of their way to make you not experience friction. You know what I'm saying? That they go out of their way to make it so that even if you want challenge, even if you want some form of pushback, you cannot possibly get it. And I think that's ultimately the problem. I mean, there are definitely some challenging encounters you can face in this game. Make no mistake. However, if you want the game to
ride
like,
the rails.
Sure
you
does.
know,
Eager to drive once we're in Gralia.
be like that in general, it won't be
We're
that way.
fortunate to have the regalia at all. We owe the First Secretary our thanks.
She'd get more thanks if she gave us a discount.
Those transceivers are top-notch. I recall when the Hydrian raged. In the midst of the Empire's retreat, one conspicuous craft remained behind. The Chancellor's. The last thing I remember seeing was his ship, heading for the altar. I fell unconscious and was powerless to stop him.
I'm just glad you're alive.
Oh, is someone else there?
Gladio. He just came back. Where did he go anyway?
On a brief reconnaissance. Something caught my ear.
Hey, Captain. Mission complete.
Splendid.
So what caught your ear?
Rumors of longer nights.
They've been growing longer day by day.
There was talk of it back in Lucis, but recent days have shown an unseasonably sharp change. Should this trend continue, before long...
There won't be daylight.
Well, it's not out of the question. The Empire's already slain half of the Six. No wonder the whole world's in disarray.
I guess.
And longer nights mean more demons.
Seen that with our own eyes.
I happened to overhear a fellow passenger discussing this very same phenomenon.
So he sent yours truly to seek him out.
Nice police work.
Well, don't want to keep him waiting.
No, we don't. Back in a moment.
Sure.
13. There's 13 royal arms, right? Or is it 14? I don't remember. Having these longer nights would have been a cool mechanic for open world, such as you progress
There
through the
you are, buddy.
story.
Did
It's
you
a
see
shame
this?
only happens
Oh,
once
it's
the open world
unreal.
is gone. Right. Once the impact for it to really happen no longer does. It's like, what the fuck?
Never seen
13 in
anything
terms
like it.
of game design, 14 if you count the engine blade, because Noctis uses it in Armor
Doesn't
Generation.
make
Okay.
any sense.
I was gonna say, because it's interesting, there are 13 royal arms and 6 astrals, and if you know anything about Nomura and his love of numerology, I do think that 13 and 6 is
Going on.
pretty interesting choices.
It's a real mystery. I'm not liking that snow cloud. Kind of gives me the chills. Like, who comes up with this stuff? I couldn't dream something like this if I tried. a
It's all
wondrous
bad luck.
world.
You know? It would have been 7 astrals had Odin not been cut. Oh yeah, you're right. It would have been 7 and 13, right? Curious. Yeah, Nomina is obsessed with 13 and 7, right? I'm just curious what happens if I don't go to him. He's obsessed with 4 now, too. I want to say. Quadratum is like a really interesting choice. And with Kingdom Hearts 4. And I don't think it's just because it's Kingdom Hearts 4 that he called it Quadratum. Noctis be like, these edibles ain't shit, what? Okay. It is interesting to see just how everyone's frozen in time here. Okay, let's stop fucking around.
What the hell are you doing here?
What's going on? Easy there, buddy. Oh, didn't see that coming. You all right?
The thing to remember is that this is probably Prompto here. That he's swinging at.
Stop! Be careful there. Wait, is this for real?
Yeah, this is Prompto.
What? No.
Why the music stop? I don't know, actually. Bug in the game? Wait, it's this one, then you go.
Show yourself!
Knocked.
That son of a bitch.
I wish we got to see more of Ardyn's illusion power. It only really happens here. Yeah.
Come on, Knocked. You're scaring me. Seriously, man. Cut it out. It's not safe. Plus, you're causing a scene. Quit playing around.
You think this is funny?
Dude, are you seriously trying to kill me?
Why wouldn't I? I've got you now. What are you after, following me around this whole time? It's all your fault!
What are you talking about? Do you really mean that, Knocked?
Maybe.
What? Are you saying it's not?
Yes. What good would it do me to hurt you?
Who cares?
Knocked. Please, can't we talk for a sec?
Never.
Low key, that's like one of the best scenes in the whole game, honestly. But that's also like every scene with Ardyn is like one of the best scenes in the game. Subtext, what's good, my guy? How you doing? That is a crazy power.
Knocked. Are you okay?
No. Where's Ardyn?
Wait. He's here? If he is, that would explain all this weird stuff happening. I bet he's behind the train stopping. Ignis and Gladio went up to inspect the engine room. I say the two of us go check out the rear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's like the most well done part of this whole story, if I'm honest. Like in terms of like all the scenes, like that really does get to you. That really is like well
Knocked.
and effective.
We have to protect the people. Looks like they've got the train surrounded. Front. Head to the next car.
Leave these guys to us.
So much for a safe ride. More of them might be on board. Let's check the rear.
We need to get the train moving again.
I'm sure Ignis and Gladio will come up with something.
I hope so. Let's go.
How bad do you think it is? Crap. The MTs can self-destruct.
Can't let them inside.
Well then, we take the fight to them.
Imperial shock troopers are attempting to blow up the train. Take them down before they get too close. If the train takes too much damage, the game is over.
Things huge! We've got company! Let the party begin!
It's us against an army.
What are the odds we'll win?
Easy, bro. Wait. What the fuck?
He's back on his feet.
There's just too many of them.
Oh,
Are there?
fun
Where are
never
they?
ends.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not. He's ready for round 2.
What the fuck? That guy came out of nowhere. I was gonna say, can I switch to Prompto here? No, okay. Good call on the death part.
Let's get this show on the road already. He's back on his feet. Good news, Nox. Ignis just called and said we're almost ready to roll.
Finally. Prompto.
All in bullet time, baby. Not. He's ready for round 2. Looks like they've rolled out the big guns.
Prompto, stay back.
Oh shit.
Come on! We're leaving!
Very versus of you.
Look! They're hot on our tail! They're gonna blow us to bits!
What if we blow them up first?
How's that now? Oh, well, there's an idea.
Nice. Imperial assault crafts have also begun firing on the train. Point work to the ships and destroy them. I think that this is the remnants of like Altissia, maybe, of like the original Leviathan fight and what they wanted to do there.
Every single one of these.
Oh wait, I didn't mean to warp through. Oh, that works. Let's do something crazy. Let's like really blow him the fuck up.
She's gonna blow! Going down.
Oh shit.
She's gonna blow! That one's next.
Wait, which one? Oh, okay, let's see.
She's gonna blow! That'll do it.
Oh fuck, I didn't mean to do that.
Prompto!
Very ungraceful, but yeah.
How long were you in the dark?
Damn. It's like insane how much more emotionally effective this is compared to like Luna's death. But it's just because we spend more time with Prompto and we know Prompto and we like him. And so when that happens, that wedge gets between them, we think back to that scene where Prompto and Noctis are at the motel and they're talking and they're like, I love you, bro. And I love you too, bro. And you know what I'm saying? You think back to that and it's pretty emotionally effective. Versus, you know, again, with Luna, we just write to her and the dog and yeah.
Damn it.
Where do Ardyn's illusion powers come from anyway? Like, that doesn't feel like a demonic power, nor does it feel Armiger-centric. They come from the fact that he's a bad guy.
Ignis,
And
you've got to stop this thing. Prompto fell off the train. I pushed him. I mean, Ardyn made me. I don't know where he is, but we can't leave him.
Stay calm, Noct. I'm as concerned for Prompto as you are, but stopping the train would endanger everyone on board. We'd be sitting ducks for the demons.
What do we do?
I mean,
First, drop
Promptus
the
is like a
passengers
ship.
off at
Like,
Tenebrae.
you know, people
We'll
are
be arriving
very
shortly.
much
What about Prompto?
about
Given
that.
the
So,
Chancellor's involvement, it's probable
But I
he's
get
no
it.
longer where we left him. In any case,
they have
he
a
may
good
try to
relationship in the
contact us.
game, so.
Let us wait and hope for now. Can you make your way here? Gladio's with me.
Ardyn uses a stitch
Two
in
of you,
time. I
okay,
love how
at
this
least?
explanation is
Yes.
exclusive
Okay,
to
on
the
my
load
way.
screen and not anywhere
I'll be
else.
there as soon as
Oh,
take
I
care of
forgot
these
all about
stowaways.
a stitch in time. I forgot that that's even a thing.
And things just got worse.
Oh, I think I just tossed it off the train, but that's okay. I do think that FF17 needs train combat again. Like we do need to bring train combat back, bros. It's too quintessentially Final Fantasy. It has to come back. Something with the train. I don't think the only thing more FF than trains are airships. But idealistically, we need a train and
Take much more of
airships.
this.
I don't want to choose. Train versus train. Yeah, this is a track that I forget about when it comes to this game, so it's ST, but it's a pretty good one. And we're coming up on a very baller scene that I really like in this game.
World.
Yeah. Nox Divina, let's go. The one we'll get in 17 is a train wreck. Oh, yeah. That's pretty funny. What's insane, chat, is that is a real-time scene, by the way, if you're curious. That actually does happen in-game. It's not one of the in-engine cinematics, because we've had a couple of those play. But yeah, they actually did that in-engine. It's pretty crazy.
Well, look who's here.
Aranea. Guess we've got you to thank for this mess.
More to it than meets the eye. You want to know who to thank? Come with me.
Why is Noctis talking to her so disrespectful, bro?
Can't wait to hear this.
You should be on your knees groveling that the general is here.
What did you do to your eyes?
Oh,
And she is
just a
speaking
flesh wound.
to us.
Can you see?
I'm afraid not.
Wow, that sucks. It's a cruel world. Wasn't there one more of you guys?
That interaction's so wild.
There was.
Because he's like,
Lost
yeah,
track of him.
Is he
I
dead?
lost my sight.
I don't know.
Then quit moping, keep hoping. And in the meantime, handle what's at hand.
And she's just like, damn, press F to pay respects.
So if it's not
Sorry,
you,
bro.
thank,
Oh, thank the demons. Pawns of the Imperial Army.
the army that you fight for.
Fought for. My men and I are in the search and rescue business now.
You mentioned being part of the
We're gonna
relief
God
effort.
mode around
We
here
have a favor to
in
ask.
just a
Ask
second.
away.
In light of what you've told us,
Might save first. Oh, you're right.
can't allow the other
I can't save.
continue on.
What?
Sure, leave him to me. But who's gonna drive the train?
Now that you mention it, yeah. You know anyone?
I do. In fact, I know two.
Maybe he'll let me know. No? Well, I can't save. But I can God right now, so that's all that matters. Okay. Let's take a look. Hold on, let me make this its own separate recording. Flying around should be fine. If not, we should have an autosave. So I think it's fine. Cool. Let's see if I can, like... Wait, what the fuck? Yay! It's daytime now. Devs can't tell me shit. I do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. Chat, I don't give a fuck. Okay. Cool. This castle's pretty cool. Is there anything else beyond here? There's that glowing thing in the distance. Okay. Don't want to get too far. Out of bounds. Are like any secretly rendered rooms anywhere? Let's check. Because I thought you could like... I thought I heard that you can warp to Luna's room. But none of the interior is loaded here. But I know people who've definitely... But it also might be because we're... Well, no, that wouldn't make any sense. I don't know. Yo, is the scene like literally playing out?
Almost there.
Hey, really appreciate you going out of your way.
Let's turn it off for a second.
Yeah. No sweat.
Vonti, thank you for the super chat. How do you think the devs feel about us breaking their game? Is that why they're ignoring FF15? Again, thank you so much, Vonti, for the super chat. I'm sure that nobody ever wants you to see the seams of their work, you know? At the same time, we're fans and we want to see it anyway. So I'm sure on one hand, though, they love that we're passionate enough to want to dig around this sort of thing. And so I don't know how they feel about it. I think that Japanese developers also have like maybe a different take on it. The near reincarnation thing has like completely and utterly like changed. Like I guess it like really illuminated how differently a lot of Japanese devs feel, or Japanese people feel about some of this stuff versus how we feel in the West. That has just been crazy. I feel like SE found a way to prevent FF15 modding. They do it in a heartbeat. Well, they encouraged it with this game, but you gotta also think that Tabata was kind of against the grain when it came to FF15's modding. He was very much like, yeah, I want people to be able to mod the game. Whereas as far as Square Enix usually goes, they are not like pro modding or anything like that whatsoever. I think I would go as far as saying that Square Enix is generally anti-modding, right? Like they're generally not pro-modding. Executive class is not happy. Yeah, that's more or less what I would say too. Tabata was really the only one to encourage it. SE seems to hate it. Right. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think SE is wrong. I say that like you guys wouldn't agree overwhelmingly with the idea of SE being wrong. But you guys, of course, would very much agree with that shit. SE is wrong about it. I think a lot of Japanese companies kind of see modding in a bad light, and I don't agree with it. Modding is good. So many great things come from mods. People continue to buy games long term to continue to engage with mods. And so I do wish that they would see it in a better light. Couch Potato, what's up? I watched your Resident Arc podcast appearance and found your channel, and it was really good. Oh, thank you. I think I'm confusing you with a different member. If you just found my channel, you're a different viewer. But yes, excited to see you regardless. That might be your coldest take ever. Yeah, I would hope so.
Hey, thanks for the lift.
We're happy to help. Can't say the climate will be as cooperative, though. You know?
Right, especially the gorge.
The place is freezing. Makes sense what with the ice goddess's cold.
Bro, this doesn't make any fucking
sense.
sense.
It's a rather long ride, so I suggest you bundle up before we ship out. By the way, I bumped into a woman from the manor. Used to serve house flore.
Why are some people British?
Said she had something important to discuss.
And why are some people American?
Guess I gotta find her then.
It's like not even regional, bro. Like it does not make any fucking sense. You know how in like Final Fantasy 13, it was like, oh, if you're from Pulse, you're Australian.
We'll be waiting on
but
board.
like,
Give us a holler when you're ready
if
to
you're
shove
from
off.
Cocoon,
Shall we?
you're American, right? That made sense. I like that. That actually is like a facet that makes the English dub better and more sensible. But this is just like, you're gonna be British if we feel like your vibes are British, and you're gonna be American if we if we feel the opposite. like what the fuck? It does not make any damn sense. like Star Wars, people randomly have American and British accents. I feel like if you were to have like people intermingling, right? Like let's say that like you somehow physically moved Britain into like the middle of the Americas or something, then I feel like the accents there would just average out, right? Like they would develop an accent that's somehow in between an American accent and a British accent, right? It'd be in like the center. So I feel like, I don't know, because like if you're an American who moves to England, or you're English and you move to the US and you spend a significant amount of time in either place, what I kind of notice is that they kind of begin to develop a hybrid accent too, like over time. In those cases, they start to say some words a little bit more British, American, vice versa, and then their accent ends up becoming like it kind of shifts to being something in between. And so I imagine that something like that would happen actually, and not like some people are just British and some people are just American.
Is that
right?
you, Prince Noctis?
Yeah. Have we?
Oh, blessed be the stars. Just look at what a fine young man you've grown into. I am Maria, a retainer in service to House Fleuret. I doubt you'll remember me after these long years.
I can't say I do.
Don't worry. Who I am is of little import in light of what I wish to discuss. Lady Lunafreya risked everything to spirit the ring of the Lucii away from the Citadel. Did she deliver it to you?
Yeah.
Stars above! My fears have been assuaged. Lord Ravis, too, will be overjoyed to hear this news.
Ravis too.
Now this scene is pre-rendered with in-engine assets.
I beg of you. Please.
I can tell because the video quality
see the
gets
ringed Noctis
a little compressed.
on my behalf.
And it's apparent on my screen because I got a really high quality monitor.
Already. My flesh has begun to fail me.
No, I cannot accept it. By your hand, it must be done. To deliver the ring and inspire the king is your calling. You mustn't fall.
But I lack the strength to go on.
Find it, Lunafreya. You have the will. Go
Ravis is a cool character, but his scenes are so sparse.
Show
That's
him
every
the
character in the
truth of your
game.
heart.
TBH. It's so weird because I think Final Fantasy 15 might be the only game where my core criticism
I understand you will go
might
hence
in
to
part
the
be
Imperial
that there
capital.
aren't enough cutscenes.
Lord
Period.
Ravis has King Regis's glaive in his safekeeping, and it was his wish to return it to you, my prince. Though I imagine it will not be easy for you to find each
No,
other.
I think that scene was in there day one.
I
don't think
get
that
it
was a
from him
patch
somehow.
I pray it shall be so.
Now we are coming up on a patched scene pretty soon, though. That scene was patched, really? Are y'all sure? Dang, I remember that being in the base game. Dang. It's actually strange to think that as incomplete as this game is now, like, how much more incomplete this shit actually was when we first... I'm pretty sure this was patched in, like, a month or two after. Oh, okay. So this was, like, on the first wave of, like, patched scenes. And you know what's crazy, right? Like, if it was patched in a month or two after, the implication of that is that basically they just didn't finish the scene in time, right? Because you can't just make a cutscene like that in like 1 or 2 months. You have to like call in the voice actors for the English, Japanese, French, and German builds of the game. You have to record, you have to do storyboarding, the writing, the motion capture, all that. And so there's no way they finished that scene in just 1 or 2 months after launch. So really what that means is that they just put shit on the chopping block and they were like, we'll just patch it back into the game after launch. Which is such a fucking insane thing to do. It's like almost unheard of. But that's what they had to do in order to meet 2016. Yeah, I do think I remember there being trailers for those patches as well.
Prince Noctis!
Yeah?
Prince Noctis, were you excited to marry Lady Lunafreya? Because she was really excited to marry you. She looked so happy the day her dress arrived. She really loved you, Prince Noctis.
Thank you.
At first, the father had mourned the fate of his chosen son. Yet in Tenebrae, the two found solace. It was not the Oracle who assuaged their fears.
So why is this girl not British?
But the
I don't
girl,
fucking know.
She holds
Actually, what accent is
power.
Gentiana's?
I have little to offer a
anyone
king,
know?
other than the voice afforded the Oracle. Nevertheless... And... I'm afraid you might find this foolish.
Yeah, 2018 is when the game should have released. By all
to
means.
be together with Noctis again. Even if only for a short while. It... would mean the world to me. I do not seek to guide him. Merely to stand beside him.
You guys get it? Stand by me.
Lady Lunafreya worried she was burdening you with the wedding. That's not true.
Can you imagine if they ever accidentally patched in the moon scenes and just didn't tell anyone? That would be great. Prince Noctis, I promise you and Luna have chemistry. I'm telling you and not showing you this is an iconic Final Fantasy romance. Please believe me, Prince Noctis, I know. My thing is that they could have made this work if they had more scenes where Noctis and Lunafreya were like an item, right? Like even as kids, like, or something, right? Or in Brotherhood, if him and Luna got to hang out together when they were in college, like, some stuff is just bad storytelling decisions, like, and we can't make excuses for it, right? Like, no matter how much or little time you had, like, some choices that this game makes are just fucking inexcusable, and that's one of them. Like, just the choice of how they did everything with Lunafreya's was just so bad, right? From choosing the dog in the notebook, to not including her in Brotherhood and making that like I mean, it is called Brotherhood, to be fair. I mean, hell, you know what? Honestly, getting rid of Noctis in Kingsglaive was also a bad decision. I mean, you already have to watch the fucking movie in order to get the game, right? Like, this really is one of those situations where if you don't watch the movie, you are fucked for like understanding this game. Like 100%. The movie is the opening cutscene. So with that being the case, why even have Nyx be a thing in the first place, right? Like, it should just be Noctis. And that whole movie should have just been dedicated to him and Lunafreya. So, yeah, like... Cosmogony, the ring. Before falling into eternal slumber, the six bequeath unto man one last treasure, a ring. Yet among us was fit to possess this gift. Yet who among us was fit to possess this gift of the gods? After some time, the ring was transferred to the hands of a man blessed with powers divine, ultimately developing the mark identifying one fit to rule. Cool.
How in the world could something...
I listened to Lady Lunafreya's address on the radio. To think she gave that speech in the very place she was supposed to be wed. I can only imagine how she must have felt.
There isn't like a side quest mentioning Nyx or like, you know, like anything that goes into his backstory. And then also his hometown, which originally was going to be in the game, by the way, was cut from the fucking game. They cut Nyx's hometown. And so nothing about Nyx just ever shows up, except for at the end of the game where you see his fucking body hanging. And if you didn't watch the movie, it's like, who the fuck is that? FF15 certainly has a lot of bad storytelling decisions, but I can't really feel like it's easy to definitively just say how intentional those decisions were when so much was cut constantly. Maybe some pieces were missing that could make some bad things work. I find it hard to be too critical on some things due to how much we don't know regarding cut content and Matsuda's interference, right? That's the thing, right? Is that it is hard to say like what they had to just make work last minute without elaboration as for what circumstances led to it. So some things do seem like, you know, like this is such a bad storytelling decision, period. Well, if you actually knew what we had planned and what we had to cut and then leave the remnants of those things in the game and just make it work, then you'd understand that it was actually meant to be good and it was going to be something much better, and we just had to make it something that worked last second. So Tenebrae, country controlled by House Fleury with the Oracle serving as its sovereign. The gardens of Finalizing Manor, tended by the oracles throughout the ages, are filled with the bright blue scilla blossoms, the national flower of Tenebrae. Though the nation has long enjoyed friendly relations with the kingdom, their ties were effectively cut some 400 years ago when the Empire invaded and took the territory under its control. Finalizing Manor alone remained the purview of the House Fleury until several years ago, when a fire broke out and claimed the life of the previous oracle, Silva Via Fleury. Her death marked the end of the Tenebraean autonomy and the beginning of a more antagonistic relationship with Lucis. Interesting.
Grandma, I want to go home.
Like, what's more crazy though is that Tenebrae is like literally just oh no, ah fuck, I may have to like reload my save now because there's no way out of this. Once you talk to Kenny Crow, it's over. Oh my god. It's a good thing we saved, chat. Holy shit. Well, once you talk to him, like, I guess it's like a bug. Let me see. Yeah, once you talk to Kenny Crow, I didn't even mean to. But yeah, there's actually no way out. And then you have to change the character's look. I wonder if the reason you can't exit this is because the mod is forcing a now defunct event to reactivate. Oh, is the mod actually doing that? I didn't know if it was the mod or what. Okay. That's actually crazy. Good thing we saved. God damn. We may have to talk to the girl again and see the Rava scene. I wonder if the reason you can't exit this is because the mod... Oh wait, I just read that. My bad. I'm stupid. But you guys know this and watch me anyway, so thank you. The Kitty Crow thing was disabled in a patch a couple years ago since it relates to online server interactions, if I recall correctly. Avatar was cut out around the same time Dawn of the Future died. Yeah. That's like a really interesting feature for them to do. But you know what like people like would have really appreciated? Finishing the fucking story. Which I know it's not the same team or the same people, and they wanted to continue to make the game bigger and more ambitious, but like all that stuff was very nice, but at the same time, no one gave a flying fuck about any of that. People were pissed because the story of this game was not complete.
Thanks for the lift.
And that was the main contention.
Give us a holler when you're ready to shovel.
Oh, I have to talk to the lady again. Fuck. And then let's hop on, and we're gonna do... I think we'll do chapter 13, and then episode Prompto. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, I mean, the stuff like, you know, like Luna's abuse growing up was like definitely going to be something that made her character a lot more compelling than I think what it ultimately ended up being. And it's just unfortunate that they had so many things going on. And I think that they also came under a lot of pressure too, because at the time it was really controversial to do an all-male cast, which I don't think it really made that much sense for it to be that controversial to me, because like just a few years prior to this, we had Final Fantasy X-2 with an all-female cast, and also there's like a good thematic reason for this game to have that cast. Also too, you can tell that these scenes that they put here, it's very obvious that they just didn't know what to do with those scenes, and so they basically just have like a semi-random flashback there to kind of make you have an excuse to see them, I guess.
Depart. Just swapped out the damage cards for some new ones. Give one
so
of us
yeah,
a
when you talk to a random NPC in Tenebrae, you'll get to
open
see it
if you need a break
as a flashback. Like, how is Noctis even seeing those, right? Is like Gintiana like blessing him with the ability to see those visions, because they wanted to emphasize that all this is being told from Noctis's perspective. But then it's like, how is this being told from Noctis's perspective? How the fuck is he seeing those scenes? It doesn't make any sense. I don't think he's seeing them. They're just for the audience. Right, but that's also the point, is that, like, Tabata said that FF15 is supposed to be strictly from Noctis's point of view, and that's why the Insomnia invasion is something that you read in a newspaper and all these other things. But then also you play the game, and a lot of the times it's not necessarily from Noctis's point of view. So
Can't say the same for you. Watch yourselves in the capital.
We will.
Thanks, Aranea. We'll see you around. It's snowing.
Get your ass on board.
Yes, sir.
That was all clearly coat from Tabata, an excuse for why the final game feels so unfinished. Yeah, and that's like one thing I didn't really like about some of the choices that he made there, was that he was very adamant about pretending that the game was finished, even though everybody involved knew that it wasn't.
Look
But
at
he
all that
had
snow.
to.
No wonder it's so cold in here.
We must
He
be
had to
approaching
corporate
the
speak it,
glacian's cadaver.
so.
Won't be a blessing if all we got's a body.
Let us hope we pass through the gorge without incident.
It's what's after the gorge I'm worried about.
Make it sound like it was artistically intentional to not put the story in the game.
Once we get through Gorvas, we're there.
We've come quite a long way.
Tabata also said the story was unbalanced and incomprehensible on purpose. God, dude, that's that's such an insane lie to tell. Like, yeah, we made it like completely impossible to understand on purpose. Like, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. It's just so wild. Wait, where's the check? What the fuck? Oh my god. Where is the thing I'm checking? Oh, it's the newspaper right here. After his forces suffered crippling casualties against the Hydrian and Altisha, High Commander Ravis Noxflore was sentenced to capital punishment. However, the Imperial Army has yet to appoint a successor to the late Lord Foray. Moreover, waves of Magitech troopers have gone haywire, have fled to Hallheck's armory and begun assaulting citizenry. Could this be karmic retribution of those who turned their backs on the gods? Your mouse is on the screen? Oh, thanks. Oh, wait. Why is that not disabled? Hold on 1 second. Why is that not? Yeah, the fact that you can even see that. Is bad. Okay, thank you so much, Tagalong. Appreciate it. We have not seen Ravis for 3 chapters. In the flesh, no. But can you check the world map? Okay, let's see. Huh. The Regalia should be on the train with us. So that's interesting. It's pretty tight. Can you imagine if the whole continent was actually explorable? I know. I actually think Lucis should have been smaller, but then again, if Lucis was smaller, then it would have been like so small that it would have felt like all of Lucis was cut with the Insomnia invasion. So I guess I see why they did it.
I wonder what it could be this time. Yeah?
What's wrong?
You may have noticed we stopped. As for the cause, outside of it...
We'll take a look.
I remember the 1.0 version of the
Hope
game.
it's just a
Ravis's
quick snow
story
shoveling
was
job.
literally just a
Indeed.
missable radio announcement in Chapter 11 before they added the later cutscene. Oh shit, that's right.
It's freezing.
But you have to do
better
Chapter
keep moving to
13,
stay
verse
warm.
2.
The Glacian did this.
Which
I can
means
see her.
you
It's a
can't
shame.
actually...
She's lying dead.
Yeah.
Let's clean up out here.
So that's
Warm up in here.
Gintiana's like real
Better make this snappy.
body.
Die.
I'm gonna break the game really quick. And just see if we can take a look at the rest of Shiva. Not bad. Cool. Nice. Wait, where'd she go? Oh, yeah, there she is. Yep. It's definitely all modeled. And then her legs go into the snow. Yep. Yep, chat, you can see the whole Shibasi.
Saw that come.
I didn't mean to do that. Or that. There has to be some crazy cut content with her corpse. I'm sure there is.
Hurry up. Ain't got time to waste.
Think I don't know that.
There we go. Took him down easy. I didn't even know. So, Pocket Edition doesn't necessarily have extra content. It just has stuff that didn't have to be cut from
Something's not right. Come on,
the main game, right? Like, so a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, they like added more content in the Pocket Edition, like more voice lines and stuff." No, a lot of those voice lines were just cut from this game, and then yeah, Pocket Edition basically has the cut content because it didn't have to cut that content like Final Fantasy 15 did. The main game.
Stop! Stop!
I would argue that in many ways, Pocket Edition is the better way to experience the story. Because it's streamlined.
And they can't get up. Why not lend them a hand?
To be about the story, primarily. But imagine how much of a nightmare Pocket Edition was to make, because they kept cutting stuff from the main game. So the Pocket Edition team probably had to like keep reworking their game over and over again. NSP, are you moving the culture, bro? My Twitter feed is filled with Noctis and Versus 13 now. Got the 10-year-old game, by the way, for the graphics suite. I think I am. I'm not sure if it's just my algorithm, but you saying that makes me think maybe it's yours. I don't know.
Let it now be done.
Maybe people
As
are talking
promised
about
to the
Versus
Oracle.
more in 15.
It's you. You're the Glacian.
Tales of the past and hopes for the future are manifest in the King of Kings. The Frostbearer's blessing shall be his.
Now this was patched in, by the way.
The Six have safeguarded this star since time immemorial. Each of a different mind, but united by this common purpose. The gods' protection extends to all creatures here below, even to the mortals created in their image. They are feeble creatures leading fragile lives and clinging to foolish fancies. The Frostbearer scorns these visions of hope, which melt like snow in the sun's light. Yet the Pyre Burner admires their strength of will. For their reverence, he grants unto them his flame, and the world of man flourishes. His benevolence warms the frozen heart of the Frostbearer. The mortals have earned her respect, he her love and admiration. It is not long, however, before some among those men ascend to new heights of hubris. The people of Soul
Great audio mixing, by the way.
bless them, the gods they once worshipped. The ungrateful mortals incur the wrath of the Pyre Burner. He seeks to raise the very civilization his flames once helped build. But the Six are sworn to defend the star and all her inhabitants from harm, and, at times, from one another. The flames of war surge as Solheim fends off the Pyre Burner's fire. The gods' pleas for peace fall on deaf ears, and the battle rages on. When the smoke clears, the world of man is in ruins, their star left scarred for time eternal. Wearied from war, the Six seek solace in slumber. This tale of our shared past is entrusted to the King of Kings, that he may see it to its conclusion. In the days that follow the war, while the Six are still asleep, the Pyre Burner is sought by a man who draws him away from the light. His peril is sensed by the Frostbearer. She rushes to his aid, only to be felled by the foreign hordes. Those masses are now one with the darkness. Darkness that before long will swallow the Six and the star they protect. This star's fate no longer rests in the hands of the gods. It sits on the shoulders of the Chosen. Deliver this world from darkness and grant my love release.
I promise I will.
The Oracle is no longer of this world, but her thoughts remain, and they must be known.
You can ask everyone except Luna about her thoughts. It's crazy.
When the boy begins his existence on this star, the girl is met by the High Messenger. It is ordained
This is what they
that she
patched
will
in,
work
yeah.
with him to return the light.
So some of you are probably seeing this scene for the first time ever right now.
The High Messenger is moved by the girl's determination, her heart warmed by the girl's benevolence. Her faith in mankind is restored once more.
That's why they're stills, by the way, that they're not, this isn't like a cutscene.
Sister, cease this madness. That boy will never be king.
Noctis is chosen. It is ordained. You of all people should know.
I know that you are throwing your life away.
That may be. But it's my choice. If only... If only I could hear his voice once more. If we could laugh together as we did as children.
This guy I met one time when I was 12. Like, literally, a guy she met one time when she was 12. I'm not even exaggerating with that. Literally one time when she was literally 12 and he was like 8, I think, something like that.
I vowed to only cry where prying eyes cannot see the tears in mine.
Yet others need
The hair moves so well. Western games ain't doing this live. Yeah, that is definitely...
No.
Japanese games always do hair the
She
best.
is no different at all.
Also, hello,
She
Del.
wants exactly what they do. To be with the one she loves. But want though she may, it is not to be.
The lady's thoughts have been hurt. The love she bears the king shall never fade. And, in time, her feelings shall be known unto him.
Gentiana.
And if the words are not spoken from her lips, then the messenger shall see that they are heard. The god's favor and the lady's love shall be with him evermore. Thus it is promised between the oracle and her familiar.
I am undeserving of your kindness. Thank you.
So, my impression of Stella was that she was also a bit more formal. Like, if you actually, like,
And so the promise is
know Japanese and, like, read the dialogue between them, god damn, Shiva. Get my ass demonetized. I don't even give a fuck.
Thanks.
Oh,
King of Kings,
I know.
restore the light unto
Yeah.
this world.
Jesus Christ. Got the Shiba out in public like that.
Dear
I know.
Noctis.
I know, bro.
Luna, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. Not even when you needed me most. There was so much you wanted to say. So much I
This
wanted
part
to
is
say.
also patched in.
Now,
I remember.
I'll never have the chance.
Did it just glitch for a second? Luna feet, let's go. Prince Noctis, remember that one time at Expedition dumped you when we were kids? That was absolutely peak romance, I know. Dude, this scene is so well directed and so well acted that I actually kind of forget for a second how vapid narratively this actually is.
I won't let you down.
The one time they met when they were 12. Bro. The music here, though, is incredible. This scene is where you can see some of the potential this game had. Right. It's like, dang, if they didn't, like, F up everything related to this, it'd be so cool. It's so good that it's unfair what we got. Well, they kind of wrote themselves into a box with the plot in general, right? Like, and so they made it so that it was very difficult to expand on a lot of these scenes, right? So they couldn't even patch in scenes where Noctis and Luna got to spend time together because it wouldn't work. Unrealistic love portrayal. I can't even get my wife to text me back. That's funny. But, like, I mean, yeah, it's like no one really relates to this. And I think also, too, there's a bit of a cultural difference. Like, I think that, like, childhood romance is, like, a very big, popular kind of theme throughout all of Asia, and especially Japan. And you could do childhood romances, like, really well. But I think here, they just relied on the trope being a thing so heavily that it ended up never coming to fruition in any way. It never ended up becoming something meaningful. This is the danger of showing a game too early. You are stuck with too many things that you have to keep when you realistically should have rewritten a lot away. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Del, ultimately, I think my biggest takeaway might be they just should have canceled Versus. Like, outright. Like, they just should have not made Versus in any capacity. I think that's actually the conclusion I've come to. And I know that sounds insane because people would have never gotten over it, but I actually think that's a good thing. Because you can always resume development of it. You can always come back and say, hey, we're actually going to make that now. We're going to give Nomura the budget, and we're going to give them the manpower, and we have the engine, and we're making this into a real game. And that's also the perfect type of thing to be like, Shadow Drop, it's coming in like 3 months or 6 months. There's not going to be any crazy, like, long marketing cycle on it. We're just going to we're just going to cancel it, and then we'll come back to it at a later point if people are still interested. I think that was the correct thing to do. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. The hype behind this game was way too fucking crazy. The Last Guardian did that? Did it really? I didn't know that. I just thought it had like a long ass dev cycle, but that makes a lot of sense. But like, they should have just canceled this game. Final Fantasy 15 should have been something brand new and different and whatever the hell else that they wanted it to be. And that would have been good, right? Because if you would have revived this game separately and made it like Final Fantasy 17 or something, you could have had Final Fantasy 15, a completely different 15 than this. You could have had 16 roll out and 17 probably in a shorter amount of time. And this would have been FF17. So 2010s was the era of half-decade long marketing cycles. It absolutely was. I mean, they can do that now. It's harder to do if you cancel 15, though. It'd be seen as more risky. I mean, they could still do it now. If they came out with Versus right now, I cannot imagine a world where it sells less than Remake or 16 or Rebirth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really imagine it selling tremendously worse. Yeah, as a Versus as a mainline should not have been FF15 or 16 maybe. Maybe it being making it FF15 fucked it over so hard. Well, yeah, because part of the reason why is because with FF15, they wanted it to be a single entry and not 3 games. And that's something that they were burned from with the 13 trilogy, where the first 13 sold pretty well, and they thought they could make 2 more 13s and follow that up and get this, like, even close to the same number of sales or something equivalent. And 13-2 sold decently, but then Lightning Returns shit the fucking bed, dude. Lightning Returns has barely sold 1 million copies. Like, barely. And that's insane, right? Like, whatever you think, like, is going on with Rebirth or 16, to barely scrape by 1 million is, like, you know. But believe it or not, the closest you can actually come to playing Versus, other than playing Final Fantasy 15, is to play Lightning Returns, because code and assets for Versus are actually in Lightning Returns, if you guys didn't know. And part of the reason why is that because Lightning Returns, having much more open fields, they implemented a lot of the code and optimizations for Versus 13 that they had made to Crystal Tools to try to get Versus to work on that engine. So they ended up using a lot of that code and optimizations back into that version of Crystal Tools for Lightning Returns, so that the game would work better on those fronts. So if you didn't know that, now you know that. In Before, Lightning Returns also uses Versus 13 textures and assets as well. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it does. So, yeah. You may need to be fact-checked on that, but...
Hey, wake up.
Instead, Aranea was always the plan. So true.
Not. Are you alright?
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
I saw the glacier.
It's Shiva now.
It's okay. She's gone now.
I'm sorry, chat. We're no longer monogamy maxing anymore.
Yes, I'm fine. Let's go.
We're polymaxing now. We're marrying Shiva and Aranea.
I feel I've earned the right to call you not. For a moment I felt death's chill wind. Such is the might of the gods. But then I remembered I'm immortal. Such is my blessing and curse. Your attack hurt me, nevertheless. My feelings, at least. And after all the memories we've shared, remember this. I should have asked if you remember him. Truly a blast from the past. Nay. You mustn't take what's not yours.
Where is he?
He? The little gunman's a short shot away.
Where?
Where else but Gralia, the seat of the Empire? I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you.
Ardyn can join the
polycule?
Hell yes, Ardyn can join the polycule. Dude, hell yes.
With all these demons about, you could certainly use it.
I fucking love Ardyn, dude.
Off you go, then. I wouldn't want to keep you from your friend.
So, is Ardyn immortal in that he's undying, or he can die but resurrect? How does his immortality actually work again? They address it in Dawn of the Future, and I read about it, but I don't remember. But what was dumb that I do remember is that his immortality doesn't actually come from having absorbed all the demons. It comes from something else, and I don't remember what it was. but Dawn of the Future said it, and then I thought it was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. So I don't remember like what it was. So if anyone in chat like actually remembers the source of Ardyn's immortality again, like what it actually was, please
We should
tell
be
us.
drawing close to Gralia.
I just remember being like, this is the dumbest shit ever.
I can't imagine what it'll be like.
Swarming with demons, but you knew that.
Don't remind me.
Once we arrive, we'll make for the keep.
The keep?
Zegnortus, an Imperial megafortress said to be impregnable.
Well, I can impregnate it.
Prompto and the crystal inside it.
What goes in must come out. So, are we buying the story that the crystal can purge demons?
The proof is in the purging, but it does stand to reason. We've observed that as the nights have grown longer, the demon hordes have grown stronger. If they are in fact averse to the crystal's light, it could save not only Lucis, but the world.
We'll find out once we take it back.
The hell?
What is it?
My guess, something to sidetrack us.
You can't save here. I want to make sure we save so we have a chapter 13 playthrough and a chapter 13 verse 2 playthrough.
Whoa, whoa!
Let's get to work.
What's wrong?
The weapons. They're stuck.
Back!
Run!
Come on, move it!
Ardyn has stripped Noctis of his weapons. Flee the freight car at the back of the train. Call Umbra's unavailable. Okay.
Only a matter of time before we run out of room to run.
Got a better idea?
We trade the train for the regalia.
Come on!
On my way!
Noct, the freight car.
Keep moving!
This music is very KH-ish, yeah.
Strap in.
Yeah. Gun it.
Threat upgraded. Activating level 4 security measures. Sealing all gates.
Accelerate and brake. Cool.
Put the pedal to the metal.
That's the idea.
Don't crash.
Thanks for the tip.
Where are we now?
Inside a tunnel. On the train tracks.
Don't slow down, or they'll catch us up.
Going as fast as I can. Hang on!
Dang. Imagine like the 7R team with everything that they've gained from having worked on the trilogy coming back to make this again. It would be so crazy, man.
What was that? They're trying to blow us off the tracks.
One clean hit, and it's over.
It'll take
Unnecessary
a bit more
timer?
than that
Yeah,
to stop his
'cause it's
majesty's
like-
trusty steed.
As long as you don't crash, I
Dodging one
guess. I
thing
don't
to
know.
run into another.
The regalia can take the punishment.
It's just there to make the
focus
player
on your
feel
driving.
urgency.
You can do it, girl. You can get through this.
It's closing. Floor it.
Come on, old girl.
That's all she's got.
It'll do.
Hey, versus Reggie. Kinda.
Dad. Thanks for everything.
Are we seriously marching into the capital empty-handed?
And with no assurances, the crystal can beat back the demon hordes.
Guess we'll find out the hard way. No turning back now, right?
Hopefully they let us save here. No? Yeah, after that clears. Wow, okay. Hey, you know what? There's always one thing you can do. And that is... Never fucking... Oh, wait. You can force an autosave. I'm going to save whether the game wants me to or not.
This thing could come down at any time.
Let's be quick. Come on, this way.
Really? Fuck this game, bro.
Hey! Ignis! Gladio!
We're going with Noctis anyway.
Look at you, all by your lonesome.
You again. You know, for an Imperial Chancellor, you are one sick son of a bitch. Demons, what the hell do you want? Leave me alone. This is getting out of hand.
Will you play the Gladio section later? Oh, no, no, no. I definitely will. That's why I wanted to save there, and it wouldn't let me. But we can technically always do it through a New Game Plus. Oh, yeah, through... and I have like a New Game Plus file we can even load up to do it. I hate that there is no scene where the kings judge Noctis. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. The king should judge him. It would have made for cinema.
The time has come.
I low-key wish the ring was somehow always forced on when you put it on instead of it being a weapon slot. Maybe I just want it to be more of a Lassie brand again. Yeah. If there was one thing they needed to add to this in a patch or Royal Edition, it was the kings judging him. Yeah, but or hear me out. We could do the fucking Chocobo Moogle Carnival. And so when you think about it, what are the players gonna value? Chocobo Moogle Carnival? Or Judgment from Kings? I would say Chocobo Moogle Carnival. That's what the players have waited 10
like
years for.
Below. Might be my ticket to the top.
Yeah, they nerfed the living hell out of this section for sure. I know a lot of people like the kind of horror element of it, but on one hand, I do kind of think it makes more sense to buff the ring here in this situation, because I feel like the Ring of the Lucii is supposed to be so powerful, and then you got it in 1.0, and then it actually just kind of sucked. And then they made the Ring of the Lucii too powerful. And they even advertised the fact that you can one-shot one of the game's super bosses now with the ring. And I'm just like, dude, showing that you can one-shot a super boss is not, like, going to appeal to players. What the fuck are you thinking? Find the switches to power the doors and elevators in order to continue on to Zagnatus. Keep where the crystal is being held. Okay. Chapter 13 was so annoying. Didn't Chaba to do a survey and it showed that Chapter 13 was the most hated chapter? And him going, okay, we're going to fix it ASAP. Right, but he fixed it basically by breaking the entire game and removing all tension from the story. And it's just like...
What am I supposed to do?
Actually, what am I supposed to do? Let's see. Getting around there. Oh, hey, and I know. I remember... Well, honestly, though, I would argue that ring magic is the ideal way to deal with Adamantoise, because that fight sucks ass anyway. Monty, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I think they should have taken elements from the Omen trailer, stealing guns from enemies, preserve the ring for dangerous enemies. Yeah, I mean, they should have done like a lot of things from Omen. That's also why they ended up patching stuff from the Omen trailer into the game, which I do think is kind of funny, because the Omen trailer's team cooked so hard with that trailer that basically the game's dev team was like, oh shit, we gotta actually put some of this stuff in the game. So it's actually like really funny, because it seems like, oh, Noctis can do those things from the Omen trailer. Yes, he can, but it's actually the other way around. It's actually that the Omen trailer had Noctis doing a lot of things, and then they had to patch that back into the game. Yeah, episode Prompto lets you steal guns and such, yeah. So that concept did kind of end up coming back. But I do think for this chapter, it would have went hard. I agree. I think it would have went way hard. Honestly, the second half of this game is kind of more interesting than the first half of the game with the open world vibes. Narratively, of course. So, I mean, they could have done more narratively with the game in terms of the open world and in general. But, you know, the story really begins in Chapter 8, if I'm honest. Like, that's when the story actually starts. And then, unfortunately, the story is over with so fast when you get to this point. It's really unfortunate, but, yeah, this is the true start of the story. Wait, where the hell is it? Which door can I open now? Oh, it's this door. The atmosphere in this section can be cut with a knife. It's a shame it's so bare bones. Yeah, yeah. Damn near Resident Evil feeling in like its atmosphere, honestly. There should have been more of a balance between the narrative and openness. In a perfect world where Matsuda didn't exist, maybe 15 could have had a solid narrative with decent open zones. Yeah. It probably should have been something more akin to the way Rebirth currently is. But, yeah. Yeah, it is crazy because the story does end up becoming one of the more interesting parts of the game, but it's also the most botched part. But they did something right to make us really fascinated with these characters. Really, I think it's just the trailers leaning into it and what we project onto the characters that does a lot of the heavy lifting, I think, for sure. A spell of the Arcana, Holy, counters with a blast of sacred light when evading, making it effective against melee enemies. Casting the spell just before an attack lands to deal more damage. Just before an attack lands to deal more damage. Okay, cool. Or more segmented zones like 12. Yeah, I think that would have worked too. I also think that reverse zones wouldn't have been so criticized either if, well, they just weren't so overly padded with so much content, right? How do we get over there, boys? I forget. Did a new path open up when I did that? Maybe it did. But I don't remember where. Let's see. No. Yeah, I wish I could explore this before I got Raccoon City'd. I know. I know. Huh. I forgot where the fuck we go. Okay, let's try going through here. Oh wait, I think this is where we go. Oh shit, I'm stupid. I'm hella stupid. Oh wait, let's sleep. Wasn't episode Aranea gonna let you explore the whole region as it basically was before as it was basically collapsing? Yes. Episode Aranea was cut content because originally what was supposed to happen is that Noctis and co were supposed to arrive as Gralia was collapsing, and what happened is that they ended up reworking that into episode Aranea, and then episode Aranea got canceled. But you were supposed to experience it as Noctis. Basically every episode that they came up with was supposed to be content that they had planned to explore in the base game. They were going to do it differently, for sure. So it was going to be like... Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, that's right, stasis thing. Do we have an ether? Oh, it's R1 plus triangle? Okay, I was forgetting. I was like, what is it again? Wait, do I not have the... Or is it L1 plus triangle? Why is it not working? I'm pressing it. Huh. Yeah, Holy, I mean, I have Holy figured out. I thought it just, oh, now it's working. Cool. No, it gave me the tutorial, but then it still wasn't working. It gave me the tutorial as soon as I walked through the door. And then I skipped by it, and then it was like, okay. I don't know. Maybe my controller's finicky and I wasn't holding the R1 good enough. Because I was just mashing Warp Strike at first. And I was like, oh wait, it is R1 plus triangle. And then I tried doing it, and then it still didn't do it for a while. And then eventually it did do it.
Dead quiet. Where'd everybody go?
Black hole is probability based, so it doesn't work sometimes? Okay. That makes sense. Oh wait, yeah, I remember. Sometimes it fails. But if you keep doing it over and over again, usually it'll...
Not these bastards again.
See if we can... See, I'm pressing it right now. And it won't actually... Oh wait, there we go. You have to hold it for a good second before it actually starts doing the animation.
This whole city gives me the chills. Too quiet for comfort.
How does it feel to be powerless? Can't help your friends if you can't help yourself.
This is so Resident Evil coded.
Wherever they are.
Oh, that's right. You can, hide. Remember when that was necessary? I don't think it is anymore. But...
Can't you simply taste the air of foreboding?
That was, actually kind of necessary to get through this section. Oh, wait, it still kind of is. Hiding from the X-Men allows you to avoid conflict and recover MP.
These don't look like typical MTs.
Noctis cannot operate doors and devices while the enemy is aware of his presence in the conflict state by taking out all hostiles or simply leaving the area. Okay.
Must be tiring having to run all the time. That magic is a royal disappointment.
It's insane to think that this is the closest
different about them.
We've
Something
ever
off.
gotten to a Final Fantasy Metal Gear. This game is so crazy if you think about it. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do an open world, but then we're also gonna do Metal Gear, but then we're also gonna have this big Final Fantasy story, and it's also gonna be kind of like Resident Evil a little bit, and oh, this is crazy that you can even do this here. Okay. Great. Actually, let's we'll make an alternate save there. Great. Now we can come back to refinish.
Huh. Takes a special key.
Yeah, big monster fights. We're gonna... Oh shit, that actually scared the piss out of me. Nier Replicant also had a Resident Evil section. Yeah, I fucking love that part of Nier Replicant. Yeah, Nier also has a Zelda section too. That fucking got me. You did, bro, I jumped. I jumped. You don't have to hide from these guys anymore now because you can just Giga Blast them with the ring. I mean, it's one of those things where I really love the stealth vibes of this, but then I'm also like, the Ring of the Lucii is so powerful that, you know, it's one of these like super sought out things that everyone wants their hands on because of how powerful it is. And it can't defeat a few enemies in a hallway. So on one hand, I feel like it definitely makes sense for the ring to be buffed. And then on the other hand, I love the survival horror aspects and the stealth aspects of this section of the game. And so really the two ideas between this being where Noctis puts on the ring and the idea of this being like a survival horror section just don't feel compatible to me, right? Like they're just directly in conflict with one another. I like the idea, I like both ideas, but they don't work. I wish that the enemies that you were hiding from were freshly transformed soldiers or civilians that became demons, like begging or crying for help, having gone insane or something. Oh, that would be so sick.
Prompto!
Oh shit! That was good. Guys, what if they made a Final Fantasy game and it was also kind of like a horror game? They could call it something sick like Parasite Eve or something. Wouldn't that be so cool if they made something like that?
Huh. And what have we here? Clearance level.
And not only if they made it, they could even maybe remember that it existed from time to time.
Security clearance raised to level 2. Access to level 2
I'm talking crazy in this beat. I know. Right now is honestly the perfect time to like bring back Parasite Eve, especially considering how popular Resident Evil is, which I figure it can piggyback off of that a little bit. The problem is that I don't... Internally in Square, I don't know anyone who can make that right now. Both logistically and also just... I don't know who I would, like, pick to make Parasite Eve content right now. What if Parasite Eve had a female protagonist named Aranea? Now you're just talking crazy. What are you gonna say next? Character designs by Nomura Tetsuya? Wait. I thought I came through this one. I did. Oh wait, the orange guy is over through here. So clearly the direction... I keep feeling like one of them is gonna grab my leg. They lost the rights to the novel, right? Yeah, but I feel like they can get that back. I don't think anything's stopping them, per se. I think they just don't want to do it yet. Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy VII has horror elements to it. And if I'm honest, I don't think that...
Might make it easier.
I love the effect on this. Chat, do you ever think about how a supposed ring of light does this? How a ring of light does that? Is that light? Skinny legend. I don't know, man. Like, aren't like the Ring of the Lucii abilities like death? It's a ring of the it's a ring of light, making the targets lighter by making them super thin. Makes sense to me. Yeah, the ring of light that drains the life force from all of its enemies. And also has like this evil aura to it whenever you use it. It glows like this
right about now.
This purple fuchsia color and drains enemies of their life force. And if you're not the king,
Data retrieved.
it
Security
literally
clearance level 2.
it kills you, or it takes your arm or your eyesight.
Damn it! It won't budge!
But it's the ring of light. I promise you. It's the ring of hope and salvation. That's really well done. They have some really well done jump scares here. Actually, hold up. Wow, I can't go back. I was gonna say, did I explore everything? Doesn't matter.
No. Help me.
Holy makes sense for the ring. Death feels like a versus 13 carryover. Alterna also looks deathy as well. Yeah. Because Holy is usually white magic, but... Yo, I was like, was I petrified? You had stop apply for a second? Okay, that's what makes sense. Which is really funny, because I would have thought it bricked the game for a second.
Another trick. Back to square one.
Security clearance raised to level 3.
I mean, just like going
Access to level
around
3.
and
Zones
raising your
authorized.
security clearance.
Oh, you should have seen the look on your
So
face.
Resident Evil.
You'd best hurry. Next time, it might really be your friend. That's one of my personal favorites. Are you certain it wasn't the real thing? Wouldn't want to make a mistake.
Oops. It's just crazy though that they removed the original chapter 13, and now this is just so like you don't have to do any of the stuff that they designed this for. You can just blow it all away, and there's no way to actually access it as it was intended to be, right? Like, so you see these things right here and you're supposed to be able to hide. Nope. It's because I'm playing Duellum as I watch you. I'm getting tilted in gold 1 hell. What rank are you? I'm diamond 5 in Duellum. Diamond 5. But I haven't been able to play for a few days. So hopefully we're road to Omega
just so
soon.
Unfair.
I'm hopeful. I'm not gonna lie, the city of Duellum has gripped me in a way that no gacha ever has before previously, though. Like, it might be the only gacha that I've enjoyed on this level, and I feel so embarrassed to fucking say, God. Definitely got me there. I feel so embarrassed to say, because everyone's like, you're not supposed to like that one, bro. But, yeah, it's pretty much like the only gacha to ever have me in like its grips like this. I haven't spent money yet, but I've entertained the idea for a brief moment, and that scared me. They gacha in his feet. I know. Who do you main in Duellum? Lightning. We'll probably do a stream when Riku drops. I've been saving tickets, so hopefully we'll be theft maxing with Riku whenever she...
Your heart's desire, so close now.
Whenever she drops.
Soon it will be within your grasp.
If you spend money on Duellum, then expect a judgmental side-eye from ESP. It hasn't happened yet. But that's the thing. I can't say that it absolutely wouldn't happen. And that terrifies me. Because it's the only one. So let me say this. The reason Duellum works for me is because it's explicitly not a story game. If it was a story game, I would not give a fuck. Like, I actually think gacha ruins narrative. You can't tell, I mean, you can, I guess you can tell a good story with gacha, but it's hard and also like not really.
Gotta find a way to make it move.
Because the whole story has to revolve around the gacha, right? How does it ruin narrative? Because everything has to revolve around the gacha itself. The game mechanics, the story, it all has to revolve around the gacha. So the gacha itself is like parasitic to narrative in a lot of cases. Also, the narrative has to keep going indefinitely.
If a king cannot protect himself, how is he to protect others?
And so, can we just fucking blast him now? What were they thinking? What were they thinking, man? This just was not a good idea. I like PvP a lot. Yeah, me too. That's like another thing too, is that like with gacha story, the story has to keep going on indefinitely, right? Which I do think that for storytelling, at some point you do have to end things, but ending things means end of service. So, but yeah, also you have to like accommodate like units somehow into the game's narrative. And so, for example, every gacha has to have summoning units as part of its story, so that it has to be forced in, whether it makes sense or not. So because you have to include the gacha in the narrative, it always becomes part of this thing where it's like, oh yeah, of course, there is such and such narrative reason for this and that, in such a way that I feel like it can almost homogenize the games in such a way where you know this is the part where it's coming in. I don't think that maybe this ruins the story for most people to tag along, but for me, it is something that I'm just like flat out like it turns me off like all the way. But for a game that is gameplay centric, like the City of Duellum, and it's about the multiplayer, and I log in to play the multiplayer, and at least where I'm currently at, it changes when you get to late Diamond, early Omega. It's balanced enough so that if you're skilled enough, like me, you can spend no money and still make it to Diamond, or Baby Seal, who's actually in the top 100 players in the entire world, and he hasn't spent any money yet, then it makes me enjoy, fuck me. It allows me to enjoy something like Duellum more. So, I'm finding my problem with Duellum is that I'm getting overpowered without spending money. My ops can one-shot me, but I can hit them with everything and do no damage. I haven't like... It hasn't been like a massive issue for me yet. Not to say that it's not, right? An issue, but I've made it to Diamond, and I can't say that it's been too much of a challenge or undoable, per se. What's behind me? But I agree. I mean, let's be frank, the gacha ruins everything from the story to the gameplay. Wait, is another Eden coming to consoles and Steam? That's cool. Every gacha should be on everything. I think it's just bad business to not put a gacha on everything. True. As much as I enjoy my time with Hoyo games, the way the stories are told are severely limited by the fact that the newest chapter needs to promote the new shining gacha character. Yes, exactly. They can't ever do something subversive with a gacha, right? Like, they can't do something that denies you a dopamine hit. And the story has to be written around promoting those things. And so that impedes on it greatly.
The higher you climb, the further you fall.
I didn't watch the latest 14 trailer, no, because I'm not caught up. But I mean, I guess I could watch it anyway, because it doesn't matter. Wait, have we never completed? Oh, that's right, because the last time... Oh, yeah. Because I would skip this chapter on my playthroughs. That's why I never got the achievement for this one. Because I would just be like, yeah, verse 2. That's funny, though. Because I'd skip through this and just skip through chapter 13 faster. Do you think you'll ever catch up with 14? Feels like you don't want to, and that's fair. I kind of don't. I think I might do a skip for 8.0, to be honest. I just don't have any interest in Dawn Trail whatsoever. I know some people have criticized me for that, and that's fair, but I just am not interested. I'm sorry. I could fake interest and play it, but then this scene is so fucking Kino. Actually, no. This scene isn't fucking Kino, bro. This scene sucks. Like...
Rest easy. Your work is done.
Bro, okay. No. Time out. Time out. Time out. time out. I want you guys to really time travel with me. It's 2016. There were Final Fantasy fans who were actually fucking arguing at the time that this was a finished game. This is how hard some people ride for Square Enix. You don't even see in the 1.0 build of this game, you do not fucking see how Ravis dies. You just come here and his body is laying there. And there were people who were arguing when this game launched that the game actually was complete. And there are just complainers, and you guys complain about everything. Like, are you fucking serious? There is a pivotal character, main character, on the ground dead with no explanation as for why this happened. And people back then seriously said, I'm not kidding, seriously said, this game is complete. It is crazy how hard some people ride for Square. It is crazy. It is crazy, man. Your car got a better death scene. You're damn right the car got a better death scene than Ravis did. We actually did not know how Ravis died for months. For months. Almost a year, I think, until it was eventually patched in. I was there, okay. Thank you. I'm not crazy. People in chat are also saying, bro, I was there. I remember people claiming that this game was finished. This game was not fucking finished, dude. Like, this shit was never fucking finished. Anyone who plays this game with their eyes open knows that this shit is not finished. You find this motherfucker laying on the ground. He's your brother-in-law. He's your fucking brother-in-law. And you find him on the ground dead, and they don't even explain why. He's just there. He's just there, Chad. Fucking ridiculous. I shall send an escort. You and Gentiana will return to the manor. It is dangerous to remain in Lucis. The Empire fears the Covenant with the Archean, and ere long they will come for you. Rely upon the Alticians if you must, and cease all contact with the Empire if you seek a Covenant. You know full well the cost. Should Noctis succeed in claiming the power, I shall gladly restore his father's sword to him. It's funny, though, now, because when you say now that people back then were claiming that this game was finished, people will say, no one was saying that. But there really were people saying that this game was a finished product. If you play the 1.0 build of this game, you have to be fucking delusional to think this game is a finished product. I'm sorry. No aspect of the 1.0 build of this game is finished. Not the story, not the gameplay, none of it. It is all cooked. It is all cooked. He's not just your brother-in-law. He's also meant to be a main rival character. That's how he was set up in Kingsglaive and the base game. Chat, this is like, okay, imagine Kingdom Hearts, right? Imagine if in Kingdom Hearts, you get to the end of the world or Hollow Bastion, and you get there, and Riku is just lying on the floor dead. And there's no fucking explanation for why Riku is dead. But you just take Riku's Keyblade, and you're like, thanks, bitch. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Anyways, absolutely no one, Barry aside, would argue nowadays, well, Prof Noct, I love him, but Prof Noct would probably argue. But like 99% of people outside of those two would not argue that this is like a complete game. Certainly not 1.0. 1.0 was certainly not. You could maybe make a mild case for Royal Edition, but 1.0, like, absolutely fucking not. But this is also why the discourse of today is never going to be the discourse of tomorrow. And people will frame the discourse entirely differently in years to come. But this is also why history relies on perspective so much, because nowadays when you tell the story, people will skip over that part. They won't really tell you. If there is anything in the game that shows how unfinished this game is, it is Ravis being killed off screen in the 1.0 build. That's a truly baffling choice, and I am at least grateful that one of the first big things that they added was showing his death with the release of Episode Gladio, right? And that's the thing, right? Like with Final Fantasy 15 and the story being incomplete. It's not one thing. It's not one character. It's not one section of the game or a couple section of the game. It is like every 15 minutes that you're playing this game, a narrative beat happens that seems to promise something, and then nothing ever happens. And then eventually maybe something did happen with it, but it's in a DLC. Yeah, like every corner of this game is not finished. Basically what happened is that they took a semi-stable build of this game, because let's be honest, 1.0 was not that fucking stable. It was a pretty buggy game when it first launched. And they said, hey, this runs, and we're just going to launch whatever the fuck works. We don't give a fuck if the game is finished or not. Yeah. It's really fun to go back to old message boards and see what people were saying. It really is. Like I said, the discourse of today will not be the discourse of tomorrow about the same game. It's always going to change. And so people are always going to say something different about stuff.
Let's see what your sword can do.
Oh, shit. My bad. We haven't really been using the royal arms much in combat.
That'll do just fine.
It's actually interesting because each one of the royal arms is like its own weapon that's different from all the other weapons in the game, which is also something that I admire about this game too, because if you actually think about it, this game is weapon types the game, right? Because not only do you have like all the standard weapon types, you also have like all these other crazy weapon types that that like just aren't, you know. Let me show you what I mean. Well, you can't open gear right now, right? But just the armature alone, that's 13 weapon types, which is crazy. Glad there is a growing sentiment of people that want Versus back. It's weirdly become the talk of the Final Fantasy community lately. Okay, I'm glad to know that it's not just my algorithm, because I talk about it, feeding me like a corner of Versus Faithful, and that like it really is the FF community as a whole talking about. I never knew anything about Versus or 15. Then I randomly got into KH in 2016. Now I want Versus 13. I know. Like, Couch Potato, I'm sure that, like, especially for you as someone who, like, loves Kingdom Hearts and, like, loves, like, action games in general, I imagine the idea of getting, like, a Final Fantasy game that plays like Kingdom Hearts is, like, the ultimate dream.
Can't you simply taste the air of foreboding?
Oh no, I've seen loads of people talking about versus in 15 again. And I am not all that tuned in to the FF community side of things. Okay, cool. So everyone has been thinking about this.
Did you hear that? There's something out there.
I love it. I love it. So much of like what's wrong with Square Enix is like directly traceable back to this, right? Like directly. It's crazy. Versus 13 is the most interesting part of 15. I mean, to some degree, you do play this game and think about just like, what could Versus be? Right?
What's this smoke?
Probably not something you should breathe, dumbass. Move. I love insane JRPG plots, and seeing Nomura go unchained would have been so cool. I mean, dude, right? And like, he would have like nobody to answer to, right? Because he wouldn't have to. I'm the dumbass. I walked right into it. He wouldn't have to accommodate for Disney, and he could truly do whatever he wanted to.
Getting thicker by the second. Need to stop it.
Watch his health as you look for a way. Fuck. I forget because it's been so long since I've done chapter 13. Certainly I can go through here, right? Despite that? Okay. Versus Cultist is so funny because the reason they were calling people that in the first place was just because they really like Nomura, right? Like, they like his art, and it's just like, of course that like people who are a fan of this guy want to see his vision. Like, if you're a fan of KH or FF7 or FF8 or anything that he's worked on, like, and did a big influence for, why wouldn't you be curious about it and want to see it? But again, the idea of the Versus Cultist is something that is, it comes from that time where people were trying to convince you that 15 was a complete game, and please don't challenge Square. Don't be mean to Square, guys. I love that fucking animation, by the way, and it feels so good when you do it. When he goes, I love that.
Oh, was such a tease.
No, I agree. I agree. I don't judge 15 for Versus though. And that's something that I've been trying to be really clear about when making this content, is that my problem with 15 is not that it's not Versus, right? Like, it's, I don't think that that's something that 15 should be weighed against. Nomura has the spirit of all things I love from the 90s and still has it. Like the Matrix, everything is so cool looking. Yeah, no, for sure. I think that like, my problem with 15 is that Final Fantasy 15 is not finished, right? Like, it's not that 15's not Versus, which I do think that a lot of people, their problem is that, oh, well, it's not Versus 13, so I hate it. But honestly, I don't think that would be anyone's problem if the game was complete. I think that the idea of perceiving people as Versus Cultist would be the popular notion if this was a complete game. Like, everyone would be like, what the fuck do you mean, bro? We got Final Fantasy 15. It's a great game. Enjoy the game that we got. And I mean, you should enjoy the game that we got. I do enjoy this game still, despite it all, for whatever reason that's wrong with me. But, yeah, my main problem is that Final Fantasy Versus 13 was a cool idea, but Final Fantasy 15 was also a really cool idea that should have been finished. Right? Like, I don't think you need to watch a Versus 13 trailer, for example, to get the idea that a lot of shit here is missing, and that this game would have been better for not having things like, oh hey, you just find your dead brother's body, your brother-in-law's body, just laying on the ground with literally no explanation as for how he died, and then you fight a zombie version of him because that's cool. But they keep like hyping up the rivalry, and then nothing ever happens. Like, the main heroine dies the second that she gets even a second of screen time. You can see the seams in the game, right? Like it's not like... Bro, like... Take, for example, like, Final Fantasy 12, right? Like, you can definitely argue that that game was not like what it was going to be if Matsuno had stayed on. It probably would have been a very different game, right? But it's not like Final Fantasy 12 is incomplete by any stretch of the imagination, right? And so because of that, you can still kind of deeply love and appreciate Final Fantasy 12 in a lot easier way. It's not like, oh, well, I didn't get, you know, Final Fantasy, like a completed Final Fantasy 12. It's like, no, it is a different vision, and maybe I like this vision too, but I'm also curious about like what Matsuno would have done, right? This is just like, they didn't finish Versus, and then they also released 15 and it's half-baked, right? And that's really the problem. It really is just this game being released and it being incomplete. If they had completed this game in a satisfactory way, I don't know if I would still be thinking about Versus.
Security clearance raised to level 4.
Right? Because
access to level 4 zones
if this game was
authorized.
complete, I may have thought about Versus a little bit, sure, but like I would have been kind of okay with it not being that. I wonder what canceled games we don't know about. Nobody mentioned one time he designed a Batman toy, but he couldn't name it either. There might be dozens of canceled things. Dude, there are so many canceled games that we don't know about. It's crazy. If you really think about it, like, under normal circumstances, we may have never even known that Ursus existed, right? Let's see. There's an easy solution for this. If it'll work. Why won't it work? Well, I guess the easy solution is just to let them blow themselves up. Hold square. That's the easy solution. Fuck them. Yep. I should have never tried. Nah, when holding square is so easy, bros. Not as easy as holding triangle. You need to be a full MP to activate the nuke. Oh, that's why. Shit.
You really are helpless without your friends babysitting you. grave doubts about your friends.
Oh, we're going the wrong way. Yeah, I really want to see like what he had in mind. And maybe we will someday. I wish Holy being casted upon Noctis dodging was a flat upgrade. Right, like integrating like the ring's power into just like normal gameplay so you don't have to have it equipped as an item would have been cool.
Whatever the hell that is, I don't think I want to mess with it.
The fuck? Elevator has arrived. Okay. That was the Emperor of Gallia, by the way. That's right. That's right. Wait, no. You find him later on, don't you?
Power must have gone out. First keys, now power. What next?
It's also this is like the second time in the whole game I think this track is used. No, that was Elder Capped as well. Oh shit. He shows up a bit there, but you find out oh that's right. Okay, you find out later. Bro, this game this shit is so incomplete. It's so fucking funny too, like coming back to some of this stuff and realizing how incomplete it is. And like it's funny to think that people were like, no, they did that on purpose, bro. It's on purpose. Trust me. Please don't say Square did something that was bad. They have to do something good. It has to be good because they did it. It can't possibly be bad. What do you mean? Yeah, it's crazy to see people like really talking about Versus so strongly again. Like every time I like log on now, I see someone reposting the trailer or talking about like concepts that were cut, and like it's really interesting. And then Kingdom Hearts 4 is like literally only going to intensify that by quite a lot.
I love surprises. You'll fall for anything.
I think we aren't even supposed to really fight him much right now.
You serious?
Name one minor boss that you defeat in Final Fantasy 15. Just checking if you remember boss names. I mean, even like aside from names, I can't fucking tell you a minor boss in this game because I'm trying to think like I don't know. I can't even think of one offhand. They're all so forgettable. Easy. Device is unresponsive. Okay, I guess we do need to go through there. I forgot how long this section is. If you play as Gladio, you basically skip most of it. Yeah, that's actually why I was like, oh wait, I didn't have the achievement for this. And then I realized that every time I replayed this on PC, I just skipped it and went straight to straight to chapter 14 because of how long this shit is. Monty, thank you so much for another super chat. Versus was just a concept, let it go. You know what? At this point, Square Enix doing something right is also just a concept. So, I'm gonna pick the concepts that make me happy, the delusions I enjoy, and not the ones that just make me sad and disappointed. So... I do think that this is probably like... I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. I would say that this is the most chopped that the Square fandom has ever been. I think. Like, it's pretty negative. Like, people fucking are just done right now in a way that, again, in my decade of doing this, I have not seen
considerable inroads into the science of demons.
People be this demoralized with Square.
Way, of course.
Ever. Remember when Square made Balan Wonderland? That's the thing, Couch Potato, is like, you can go through the list and you can be like, oh, I remember Balan Wonderland. I remember Babylon's Fall. I remember Forspoken. I remember like X game that like did super poorly and maybe sold literally 0 units and like and that people like literally only it's like basically just an internet meme.
Wear a crown, use it.
Like to What's a versus? Oh, you know what a versusism is. That's when a versusism is when the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building appears.
Ever wonder where demons come from? Once upon a time, they were children of nature. Beasts.
I like how it's also
men.
telling you this in the log
so
at the same time.
Many.
Demons, in a weird way, as an enemy, are kind of like heartless in that sense. Is that how this works? I don't remember. Switch to panel beyond, and then now I can go through here.
The infantry units you callously dub MTs.
I think calling it Final Fantasy Versus would be a great idea. I think that's all that's needed.
Codes and incubated until they were strong enough to fight. What a pity. innocent souls fated to suffer.
So,
well, not so
right
empty
now,
after all, are they?
The biggest reveal in the game so far is happening, and it's literally Ardyn giving an exposition dump while you go through these hallways, and there's no really reaction from it or anything. It's just, by the way, here's the biggest exposition dump that's really important to the story. Anyways, find the key card. Just crazy work, bros. Crazy work. Oh wait, can I open it to B and T? Including cases around the village, the number of missing now stands at 1,657. Early reports from the MRF attribute the disappearance to an infectious disease, and the investigation continues as regards a potential connection to the demon outbreak. At the time of writing, quarantining the west of Gralia is complete, and other sectors remain infection-free.
Vanishing sickness. Huh.
9 days from the mysterious disappearances, and nary a lead. It beggars the belief that 812 people, an entire village, could simply vanish into thin air. In more tangible developments of the demons have emerged from west of Gralia at the same juncture. 60% are confirmed escape from the military facilities. Details of the remaining 40, however, remain inconclusive.
Mysterious disappearances.
Okay, let them all spawn, let them all spawn. And then watch them all go. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, no, they would call it Final Fantasy Versus 15. Or something like that. Or rebuild of Final Fantasy 15 or something like that. And knowing Nomada, he will tie it into Final Fantasy 15's like actual story. Like he'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was like one of Noctis's dream worlds."
Done, my boy.
And he'll basically find a way to like non-canonize it and belittle it in a way while also canonizing it and making it important at the same time, paradoxically. The infection has since manifested in 5 adjacent sectors and threatens to reach epidemic proportions. Its spread is invariably accompanied by the appearance of demons, and the likelihood cannot be ignored that the pathogens are demon-born. Quarantine has expanded to encompass all areas in which the creatures are found.
Proportions. That can't be good.
Following their outbreak in the north and west, demons have swept through the MRF, causing extensive damage to equipment. Control was subsequently lost over unprogrammed MTs, and strategies are being deliberated on the collection of rogue units. Meanwhile, 125 infected patients undergoing testing at the facility have vanished in a manner reminiscent of the first disappearances.
All the patients have been disappeared? That makes no sense.
Oh fuck. Bro knocked me back downstairs. Yeah, it'll be like a parallel world to Versus. Someone made World of Final Fantasy have deep lore and be canon to include every game at once, including 15. Yeah, I think that I think it's possible to do, and to make it all coherent with the overview of the world. So. Also, you know, too, I know Nomura thinks that he needed to do like the big open world and all this other shit. But honestly, bros, I would have been fine with like Kingdom Hearts 2 boxes. You know what I'm saying? Like slightly prettier KH2 box level design. I don't give a fuck, bro. Do it. I think it would have been a-okay if that means he could have got the game out without compromising anything. So but okay, I think we do have to end the stream here for today, because I do have some pickleball to go and play. As you guys know, I try to stay active 7 days a week. Well, 6 days a week more like, but I try to be active every single day. I lift 5 days and then I play pickleball on Fridays. So I'm always out there, guys. I'm always out there. Anyways, let's see. We'll raid Very Finny if you're on Twitch, and if you're on YouTube, there are no raids. There's no raid feature yet, but know that I love you, and hopefully there'll be a new upload next week. Okay, take care, and I'll see you. Peace.